The arm of Rosedale is located to the north and west of Neepawa, stretching west to Franklin and north to Kelwood. The total land area is 865 square kilometers, divided into 6 wards, each with its own member of council. Transportation is top of mind for Rosedale again this month, as council reviews items from a new gravel reclaimer to dust control to continued reconstruction of flooded areas through the Disaster Financial Assistance Program. As an almost entirely rural municipality with only a couple of small villages, ensuring that a road system is maintained and passable regardless of season is always a priority for council. Also on the agenda was beaver mitigation, a problem that has been plaguing not just Rosedale, but the whole area that borders on Riding Mountain National Park, where the animals are protected. While beaver dams are part of the natural watershed, flooding they cause can also damage important infrastructure. Council agreed that it was only those animals that were causing damage to infrastructure that they needed to address, and have now applied to the province for a wild animal kill permit to deal with nuisance beaver. Finally, Rosedale Council is starting to talk about developing a new strategic plan that would lay out the priorities for the municipality moving forward and could allow for more long-term planning, particularly when it comes to assets and infrastructure as well as economic development. Down the line, when they go forward with the planning, they will be seeking the public's input on priorities for the community. Following is the April meeting of the RM of Rosedale in its entirety.
Okay. Be it resolved that this regular council meeting convenes at 10.
Oh, I didn't send you the agenda. Sorry.
Good job. And with you, Carl Senzik as chairman, do I have a mover? Burton, second, Rob Scott. All in favor? Carried. Bless you. Yeah, a little stab in. Thank you.
Yes, Joe.
First the pen, no. Stabby thing.
Be it resolved that the regular council meeting agenda of April the 12th, 2024 be approved as presented. Do I have a mover? Dave Tudor. Seconder? All in favor? Carried. Be it resolved that the minutes of the regular meeting held March 8th, 2024 be adopted into the curriculum. Do I have a mover? No, pardon. Seconder? All in favor? Carried. Be it resolved that the council agrees to adopt the March 2024 financial statement. Is there any questions on that statement? No. Do I have a mover? Seconder, Ron Kosselchuk. All in favor? Carried. Be it resolved that council approves the accounts for the month and the amounts as follows. March 2024 general, $78,000 $18.44. Water, $716.02. Do I have a mover?
We'll see if we can get under.
Jeff Henderson. Seconder. Scott. All in favor? Carried.
If they want to.
All right. So, oops, crap, wrong button. Okay, I guess we'll hear from Kevin.
So we just wanted to we'll jump into new business.
New business,
So
okay.
the reclaimer options was shared with all of council, and I've just asked Kevin to come and maybe share some information with y'all. I got responses from a majority of the group, so. you know,
Okay,
either-
I guess the easiest thing is, do you guys have any questions about it? Cause yeah, I got that email that you guys got, it seemed to pretty much explain the main bullet points. Do you guys have anything, concerns about it or unsure or something I can explain?
About that particular unit,
Yeah,
yeah. I have a comment for you.
sure.
I showed that email to at the trade show. I showed it to the Onco rep,
Uh-huh.
and he was taking a look at it, and he was there selling his own reclaimer.
Mhm.
And he looked at it and looked at the price that was being asked, and he says, you'd be stupid not to buy that one.
Yeah.
He'd much rather sell us a new one with
Mhm.
a warranty, but his words were, you'd be stupid not to buy this used one. And I know nothing about it, so I have nothing to add to which one we should get. So
Okay.
I'm just relating his comment to you.
And I just got a quote before I showed up here from that company, All American Diamond Mowers here. And they said out of the US, that same unit is about $9,400 US at $1.38 conversion plus shipping and taxes. You're over that 15 grand mark for that same unit. And I can get it with no shipping, no taxes, all in at 8 grand is what I can get it for. So, and the guy, it's about 4 or 5 years old, the machine, but it hasn't been used. He used to deal them, and he dealt out, I forget, like 8 or 9 of them, and he had that one unit left because it had been demoed before. So that's all he's got left. So it hasn't been used. He said it's had about 30 miles on it is what it's used. And I looked at the discs, there's not even any wear on them or nothing. So now I also worked it out with them. If you guys aren't sure or whatever, I can demo that unit for you guys if you want. If that would make it a little easier to make a decision, or, you know, because it's the way the state of our roads is, as you all can see, there's that hump and it's all sod, and the guys are having a heck of a time. They can't cut that sod right now. It's just pulling big chunks into the center of the road, and they're just getting into it a tiny bit. So once we get into widening roads and things, it should really speed the process up, because our mulcher runs that grader like as hard as it can run, and it doesn't do the job. It throws the stones into the ditch and everything. So mulcher's about 4 miles an hour. This thing's about 12. So that's a huge bonus just in fuel alone. I think it would pay it all in fuel, not even just scrap. So that's my understanding of the unit, and it's very low power to run it. About 50 horse, 60 horse, because it's just one gang of discs on an angle, at the right angle, throwing the gravel in. So
Or Sabre's Anchor doesn't.
yeah, there's a few have them.
I don't know what it runs like, or I've never talked to them and asked them what it's like.
Yeah, they're the ones that were gonna buy that unit, but they'd already bought 2 other ones, so they figured they can make good with the 2. That's, as far as I was led to believe, it was North Cyprus and out Sydney way is the areas where they were being sold. So,
Yeah, I seen they went down what would be the correction line last year, I guess it doesn't look too bad, but their shoulders aren't as bad as ours are, so.
yeah, that's
It's gonna
the,
be a lot of a lot of work, like I know I was looking at, well, Capital I was their commissioner and their rotavator. The guy had like a 1.5 foot windrow of
Yeah.
sod,
Yeah.
and he was just beating it up.
And the plan for this unit is you send one guy up with the tractor, he can do the edges of all the roads maybe 2 or 3 days ahead.
Yeah.
So that any sod can just die off and blow away, and then you grade it all across the roads. From what I understand is we should be able to pull about 20 yards a mile, a roundabout, but ours are pretty heavy. I bet you we can get more. That's my estimate, but until we get demoing it, we won't know. But 20 yards a mile is pretty significant.
It'd be nice to demo it on our roads because
Absolutely.
we got some, well, you've seen the big
Yeah.
ones, like, we're a long ways behind, so that machine's gonna have to work hard,
Yeah,
that poor machine.
yeah. The big one I'm seeing is with the 2 graders, even though we got the mulchers and stuff, at like 2 miles an hour or 3 miles an hour per edge, you're gonna be till July getting the edges even chewed up. And I wanna do 2 to 3 passes on every road. And ideally the second pass, right now we're just experimenting, learning the machines because everyone's fairly new. They're just doing basic grading and then reshaping is the second pass. That's what I'm planning on. So ideally with this reclaimer, it'd be nice to get some reshaping done in the first pass. That's what I'm hoping. So
My fear is we're gonna bring up a lot of black dirt onto the road.
yes, that's
That-
possible.
That is not good.
Yeah, I
Black
get
dirt
that.
does not mix with gravel
Yeah,
and clay.
Okay.
It's just gonna make the roads, in my eyes, worse.
So what's,
I'm not saying in some places.
I just have a question. So what's the difference between cutting that in? So we're just cutting it a little bit. So we should be cutting it probably a foot in. So what would be the difference if we cut it with the grader and rolled all the sod up versus if we used the reclaimer? Just because I don't know. Would it be, is it different or we're just gonna bring it up and then mash it in?
The idea of this reclaimer, there's 2 columns to see. One thing is going to leave a ridge there right away, the way that this cuts, the way the video is, there's a ridge that you're gonna leave, so the water's gonna be trapped there unless you cut it off with a grader. So if you went with a grader to start with, you wouldn't have a lip at all.
Cut it beyond.
Cut it clean.
Cut it clean.
Your moldboard would be past the edge of the road, if you wanna call it, so there would be no edge at all. With
They're,
this, you're
not-
gonna leave a bit of an edge there.
they're not having very good luck with that approach. I've tried to get them to get the blade hanging over and it's just pulling massive chunks over, whereas this will at least chew it up and it does hang over just like your blade. It's all adjustable. So what happens is you drive down the road and it has a hydraulic top link so you can tilt both directions for that disc so you can edge that and make a nicer rather than that berm that you're seeing on the edge of those roads.
Yeah.
And what I was seeing from the different videos I'd come across is they're even mulching like grass that's not been mowed, which I don't want to do. But it looks like it's churning that all under very nicely, and that's excessive in my opinion. So I think it would be the best solution to handle our sod quickly because it's obviously been growing too far in. So it's going to be a mess to correct it. We all know that. So my attitude is to do the least amount of labor and time with the least amount of mud mixing into the road. And that's why I'm recommending this. It seems like it's a pretty cheap option and it's built for that exact purpose. So it must work at least somewhat. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, if a guy doesn't operate it right, that front disc will leave a.
it will 100% dig
If he's
in.
running it right, it won't leave that dip.
And that's-
It takes it out. I did see that on that.
Yeah, that's exactly kind of the
It doesn't
purpose.
leave that.
Now with the 3-point hitch being the 3-point
Yeah.
hitch unit, you don't have down pressure, right?
That was my.
No,
So then, what about riding and controlling depth, I guess, would be the other
okay,
question.
well, it's sort of the discs are their own, they run their own, because the first disc only cuts so deep and then each disc compounds onto themselves. So it's the angle of approach on your set of gangs on how deep you cut. If you bring it wider, it won't cut as deep. And if you bring it steeper, it'll cut a lot deeper. And you might have to do multiple passes depending on how hard your ground is. But there's also, you can add weights to it. Like we can build weights if that was the case. Like if it's 500 pounds too light, we can easily put weight on. And in the future, that unit can be modified to fit the graders. This is just a stopgap for right now while we got this massive undertaking. And later on, one of the graders can attach it either to the mold board or we can adapt it to the front, and you can all the down pressure you want then for later, right?
So you could get this for a demo, you said?
I can get it for the demo, but only with the 3-point hitch. I can't get the grader attachment yet,
Yeah.
but that company does sell that adapter. So in the future, if we do like it or we want to modify it, there's more to go later, right? So we can make it work better.
So if we got it for demo, you get it for a day, is that correct? Or
I can probably get it for as long as I want. However, I don't want to put too many miles on it. So I want to get it practiced so that we can eliminate the edges and stuff. And then I'll demo it to you once we've figured out the best way to run it. That's kind of what I plan. So I was hoping to have it for all of next week.
Can I say something really quick before the conversation goes? I just want to thank you for saying something like that about practicing and trying different things and figuring it out, as opposed to that sometimes we get caught in that mentality of this is how we do it, go, and we never change and we never try new things. Because sometimes when you try new things, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But that's just a data point, right? So thanks for saying that.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
this is a great initiative. don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And I think I like his approach on it. So then, if we do a demo, then let's do, say, a mile that we can look at
Mhm.
with this unit, once you fine tune it.
Yep.
And let's do a mile with a grader and a mulch.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then we can compare apples to apples. Is that a fair assumption?
And that's what I've been doing recently, like yesterday I got them using the mulcher so that we had some roads I can get some info on how fast things work and everything. And the mulcher's not doing a super awesome job, but you guys are new as well on that. So I'm getting them to run that until we get the reclaimer and then we can compare. That's already getting worked on.
Are we maybe a little damp out there that's causing issues?
Could be a little. The roads are, like you guys probably know, they're pretty dusty. And we started in the south where it's not as much snow. And we're working north because as we practice, we'll get better. And the north has worse roads and need more maintenance. So my idea is hopefully we can practice on these southern roads, which are not as rough, till we get more better, especially cutting the edges. And then we can work our way north and hopefully one pass, one fix sort of deal.
Because like, the way I look at it, like my ward, Jeff's ward, Ron's ward, and Robert's ward, it's 85% of the traffic, I would say.
Yes.
We get it coming through the other ward, from the other RMs,
Yeah.
come down through the hill there. So we get a lot, like, my roads are kind of, they're this deep. but
Yes.
I know it's all gonna come back eventually, but whatever, we can't expect a miracle because we had 3 springs already.
Yeah, no, I agree. And that's sort of been my plan, is just because right now everyone's new, including myself.
Yeah.
So we're figuring it out. And I'm hoping by May we're full tilt fixing, not just skimming and filling in potholes and stuff. But to be fair, the frost is still in the ground. We tried opening up a culvert at Riding Mountain. Backhoe wouldn't even dig into where the culvert is. It's still only this deep. You're right into frost still. So that's kind of also been why this is the exact right time to be running that reclaimer, because it can't dig in too deep either. So
I know that the boys were going down the Huttery Road there.
yeah,
If they would've only went out another foot, they would've had like about this thick of gravel. It's just sitting right there. It just-
exactly. And what they're finding is the picks that we're running are just grabbing the chunk and
Oh, yeah.
throwing the whole chunk. Smooth blades are better, but I just found out 2 days ago, 2 days ago, that we are out of smooth blades, which is, I'm fixing that. We have a ton there, but not for the extensions, so, yeah. So
That's what I was gonna ask about smooth air.
I wanna
That's why
run-
you're getting chunks probably because of the big thing.
I wanna run one with picks and one with smooths, because each road is a little bit different.
Yeah.
And that's the plan going forward, is as we get better, we'll know which roads will do better with smooths versus picks. We're still experimenting, so.
So we're gonna have to run another tractor though.
Yes, that's why
Another operator.
yes, but the reclaimer should be like 3 or 4 times faster.
Oh, definitely.
So that operator, yeah, he'll spend a week, but he'll do 2 weeks worth of grader work. So then after he spends a week on the reclaimer, he's doing other work. and those two operators are fixing those roads. That's kind of letting all that sod dry off and everything, so.
Now I'm looking at the weather forecast for next week. Is it gonna be a good week to do it next week?
It may not be, but I can still get it in, get it set up, and if it's rainy, I'll wait till the next week.
Okay.
Not a big deal.
I think, I don't mind that idea. I kind of like the initiative to go ahead and give it a try. It costs nothing to do, right?
No.
It's just,
So if it's
why
too
not?
wet, it doesn't.
Look at the, you know, be open minded towards it.
And we're only gonna have 2 graders moving forward, so we have a third operator
Yeah.
to do things like this.
That's what I was thinking too, yeah, we have a guy there that's gonna,
Yeah.
those guys are all gonna run around together, so.
Yeah, that's
you know, here and there,
exactly.
switching, swapping, whatever.
I have a question.
Sure.
So I spent years trying to make equipment that was just about big enough work really hard to try to accomplish a task.
Mhm.
And then I finally upgraded to oversized, robust industrial equipment that could then relax a little bit and work more efficiently. And I started making money after I started spending money on equipment. So my question is this one of those cases where we should bite the bullet and buy the right thing? Or is this where we can actually get away with saving some money?
What I'm seeing is this should stopgap us in terms of, there's always a better unit. There's always a bigger, better thing. That's how everything is that gets sold. And this one is obviously on the lower end, but it's a good attempt to go forward. And if this is enough, great, because it's a very simple machine, so it should never break down. It's, you know, it even comes with a spare set of main bearings, which are like 600, so you can put a lot of miles on before it needs any actual repairs. So this should be it for a while. So,
We're demoing, like, to try it out, see, like, there's nothing wrong with the demo.
yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking once I heard sort of, because, yeah, no one really knows for sure. It is hard to say yes when you haven't seen it. I agree. So I asked, and the guy said, sure, we can demo it, kind of as a favor to me, so we'll do that. So,
I just don't have any faith in the 3-point hitch equipment for heavy work.
yeah,
That's my hang up with that. There's no down pressure in
Right.
most tractors.
Yeah.
The way those diffs are sitting, I don't think you need down pressure, because they
Well,
sit
yeah,
there pretty hard, I think.
It might prove me wrong and it might not. The demo is
The weight of the tool itself.
the unit's almost 1,800 pounds.
I was gonna say,
right?
the weight of the tool.
And just because you've all seen discs, they all run, you know, horizontal essentially. Well, this is the opposite. So you're actually using the dish of the disc to do the scraping.
Roll it.
If you've seen on the videos, they're barely turning. They're just kind of, they're more scraping, kind of like multiple shovels, eh? So I think the idea on how this works is each disc runs off of themselves. So if you get a 1/4 inch on the first disc and then next thing you know, you're going down that much, and you're only trying to cut the high stuff off. So it's going to concentrate the weight on the higher stuff and throw it farther over.
How much offset is it from the ditch side tractor wheel? That's all?
Not as much as you really think, maybe 2 feet.
Is that going to be enough to get into the ditch without putting our operator in a?
Yeah,
Take a spot?
there's more than enough, because we're not actually going to be putting it down into the ditch. It's just going to overhang the last couple of discs into the ditch to make it transition nicer. And again, it's all adjustable. So you can actually put it out probably like 4 feet, but you're not going to be digging good gravel, right? So there shouldn't be an issue in terms of the wheel of the tractor getting into the ditch and going into a bad spot. That shouldn't be an
Most
issue.
of our roads, there's only this much that you're
Exactly.
gonna get until we get down to where a few years, we might get 3 feet.
Yeah.
But it's gonna take over years to take that little bit each time.
That mixed with all the dirt and stuff, like Ron was saying, you don't want to put, 20 yards of dirt onto your road either. So you kind of, it will have to be a bit of
My
a
shoulders.
exactly.
No dirt on my shoulders, so it's still
Yeah.
different than your shoulders.
Everybody is different.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
I'm not so worried about mine so much because up in the hills there's a lot of clay,
Mhm.
but I know in some areas there's a lot of black dirt.
Yeah,
That's only my.
But that's gonna be the operator guy. If he sees the black dirt, he should know, okay, pick up, let's,
You still got to cut the ditch. You
Yeah,
don't
if you're
got
cutting
the ditch water.
Well, you gotta get rid of
That's-
it
that's-
one way or another, you gotta get.
and that's
rid of
what
that.
this is built for, is to
Even if he just brings it.
increase the road drainage.
Yeah.
And that's,
Just
I think not even the gravel and the fuel and the time. I think just to shape that edge efficiently is gonna be worth it just in that.
Just to get rid of the water.
Get the water to leave.
Definitely need shaping.
I'll
these, yeah.
pass on a ratepayer comment as well. So take what you will. So John Swisco was telling me last year that he figures on some of those sections of road, he says it's too far gone.
Yeah.
And his comment was you're probably better off peeling that lip off and dumping it into the ditch and not trying to reclaim it. And I think
Yeah.
that's another thing I think you're gonna.
That is possible. We did do that a little bit, I think it was Ward 1, in the fall, I think it was. The guys just tore the sod off and threw it in the ditch, and I don't know, we're gonna have to
Yeah,
deal with that
actually
for
in-
mowing and stuff.
On 95.
Yeah.
So then you're gonna run into a problem with mowing, you're gonna
Yeah.
be into gravel and slowing down now, so.
Yeah.
6.5,
Yeah,
you're
it's
better off
gonna be-
reclaiming, let's try it first, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Ideally, the most gravel I can pull out of them edges and throw in the middle, the better, because less we gotta spread and less we gotta deal with in the ditches. Because still, we do have drainage problems. Say we get that off and we throw it all in the ditch, we're gonna have to find a way to get it out of there eventually or something to reshape the ditches, because drainage is a problem already across the board. So,
See, I know like with mine, if you could cut that and put it to the center before they gravel, I'd be the happiest guy in the world, because soon they throw that new gravel on there, it's just gonna blend beautifully, and
yeah.
I'll have lots of gravel on my road.
Let's give her a go.
Yeah.
And I guess the other thing is, I would like, when you're testing it, test in the southern part down east end.
Yep.
And then try out in the clay area, close to Ron's area.
Yeah, I
See
can
the difference,
definitely
you know.
test in different locations with different dirt types too. That's no problem.
Okay.
Like I said, I didn't want to put like 100 miles on it,
No.
you know, in case we're not into it. But if we're liking it after about 10 or 15 miles and we're getting more of a yes, demo it lots. Because if we're going to buy it anyway, then it doesn't matter.
You probably know a lot of the roads already, probably been down quite a few of them to see which ones have good lip, and then they're down to a little bit.
Yeah.
That's a good road to try it on, because you can get a deep lip, plus you can get a shallow lip.
Yeah, yeah.
All in one road, so.
And if you guys have any roads that you see that you think that it might be a good test of it, let me know and we can work that into the demo too. Even if it's just doing a mile on that road, a mile on this one, we're experimenting, and for sure, absolutely.
Great.
Yeah, it'd be a good test anyways, because we got a lot of different,
Yeah, yeah.
Lots of edges.
yeah, lots.
Okay, make this quick. I gotta use Jeff's pen.
There you go.
So I just want to resolve that we're allowed to do the demo. So the resolution is saying, whereas email correspondence has been shared with council in relation to the possibility of purchasing a piece of equipment of purchasing piece of gravel reclaiming equipment, therefore be it resolved that a demo of the unit for purchase be arranged for council to observe the equipment in use. Fair?
Fair enough.
So I just have a question. So can you have the smooth edges coming in before this is gonna take place?
We have one machine just put a set of smooth
Oh,
edges
okay.
on, but that's another problem is they've already worn 25% in one day with our smooth edges. The way they're not holding up because
What's the thickness of the edge we got right now? We're running 5/8, aren't we?
I think so. They're not the thickest blades that are
They say
available.
the 3/4 last about 75% longer.
Yeah, well, I've been
5/8.
looking into the carbide
Yeah.
tips as well for summer.
Yeah, those two, yeah.
And other RMs are running into where they're changing
Here you go.
two sets a year, whereas what I can see, we're going through a set every week. By the time you get two graders, if you were running two, you might get 2 weeks out of a set on a single grader. So if I can make that instead of one every 2 weeks, one every like 6 weeks, it might definitely be worth upgrading to the carbide tips, at least for our extended blades. And then we can use smooth blades in the winter to wear it, because we must have 25 at the
So
shop.
those are only 7-foot smooth blades there?
Yeah, they're not enough. Yeah,
Because you
and
take the extension.
Once you get your roads back to where they should be, your blades are gonna last.
they will,
10 times
yeah,
longer than
that's
what
it.
they are now.
And
You're doing a lot of hard work right now.
it's the cutting, and it's not loose gravel, so you're trying to re-loosen it. It's a lot harder on them. that's why I still want to run a set of picks, because I'm noticing the picks are still holding like good. So at least for tearing it out first, I'd like to do the picks and then the smooth blade to, yeah. But we'll set a combination up here throughout the summer. And but yeah, I'm getting some on order, a couple more sets to run us at least until mid-June or so.
Yeah. Good feedback.
Our roads are so hard right now, it's crazy. The gravel's all gone, the stone's gone.
Yeah, yeah, and that's where this reclaimer is the
Yeah.
idea. If it gives us good. If it doesn't, well, we'll have to start dumping gravel, eh? So.
I know the few miles the boys did for me the other day there, it's 100%, man. They did a great job.
Great.
I'm surprised at the material they brought up. I don't know where they found it, but they found it.
It's there, but it's
Yeah.
it's pounded in, eh? So.
Seen Cam was on 86 yesterday, I was coming home from, I seen him going down there, and then I was leaving with my truck, and I seen the other two guys on the Colony Road.
Yeah.
It's like, holy.
Yeah, they're getting better every day.
Oh, yeah.
From day one, it was this way, and now we're at about day 3 of, I got all 3 out now, and they're getting better every day. So that's why I'm putting them in the seat right now, lots, because once we get busy, I want to be able to just set them and go, rather than having to watch them and, yeah, give tips and whatever, so.
We got a lot of nuggets to deal with.
Yeah.
That's the next thing too, yeah.
Those nuggets that are just sticking up that high, oh, they got a lot of those to deal with, the poor guys.
It's gonna be hard on the equipment too.
No,
Yeah,
On the blades,
yeah, for sure.
It's gonna be hard on.
yeah.
Yeah, and that is what we're gonna have to deal with for probably most of the summer, I'm thinking, because it is what it is.
I looked at one piece of capital I there, and it's that one that goes on the front. It's
Yep.
those rippers on the front.
Yeah, the front ripper, yeah.
Man, did those things pulling rocks like this, just pluck them out, and
That-
guys are just going along behind, they'll wing it to the middle, and they go along behind with a stone picker and pick them up
Yeah,
behind the tractor.
yeah, like right now for stones and stuff, we're just drive along with a
Yeah.
backhoe and throw them in the bucket kind of thing, so, you know, I don't know how
Make
many,
use of the equipment you got.
I don't know how many loads of stone we can pull out of these roads, but it's gonna be a lot, so.
So you're gonna get a lot right now.
Yeah.
Well, that was a comment that Colleen made last year, that we should be maybe entertaining the idea of a used stone picker, and I think somebody else thought they might have one, so that might be not a bad investment going forward.
Okay,
If,
North Cypress Langford made one of those for the front of their grader.
like a front ripper for the
Yeah,
front.
so then this
We
way,
didn't
if it's
have to-
on there and there's washboard really bad, they just throw the ripper down and rip it up and then blade it out.
we don't need
So
a fancy
they're
stone
doing-
picker or something like that.
No, we don't use
Something.
exactly.
If you get half more out, it'll utilize for that kind of job anyways.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
just a suggestion I was talking to Dave about is, North Cypress Langford sent all 6 of their operators to the convention, to the trade show, to go look at all the stuff. They were there Saturday, or the first day, and I was talking to Matt Kite there, and he said, yeah, all 6 of their guys were there. I think that's what we should do every time it's in Brandon, is send the guys, let them go see the equipment and see what's going on. There's different videos, there's different things.
there's new things changing all
Oh,
the
yeah,
time.
and
so-
I think it'd be beneficial to just the guys to go see,
Yeah.
take the afternoon and go, you know.
Yep.
For the second year, you go to load them up, go to Brandon, so it's 4 to 6 hours, that's good education.
not too
It's
bad.
good, it's
yeah.
great education, I think.
Information.
And they can see other stuff too that might interest them too, you know, like, there's a lot of stuff in that trade show, like there had to have been 100 and some exhibits there. Like there was a lot in there
I
too.
think it would be good to introduce Kevin to Matt as well, because Matt has a lot of experience. He's
Yeah.
been a foreman for a long time.
Yeah,
So then they could network.
actually Matt hasn't been a foreman very long.
Oh,
No.
he's just
No,
worked
he's
there
an
for.
operator.
He's been a great operator
Ah.
forever,
Yes.
but he's been foreman now for them and he's doing good, he likes it.
Oh, good, good.
Reach out to them.
Good,
Yeah.
good relationship with the guys he's got, so.
He's from North Cyprus? you're
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, right on. My
Yeah, Matt will
wife's,
tell you anything, he's really good.
okay. Yeah, my wife's the weed super up there now, so we got connections.
There you go.
Big deal.
There you go.
Yeah.
No, you'll get along good with Matt. I was
Okay.
touring with him when we were doing this boundary road, or correction line, I should say.
All right, anything else?
I think if that answered all questions for you guys, then no, but,
Pretty good.
okay, good.
Excellent.
Okay,
I'm
well, thanks,
interested to see
Kevin.
that machine.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, no, we'll have a good look at it and we'll get good use out of it and make a good decision then, so. Right on.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Unless you have something else?
No, I think that's the biggest thing on the docket right now. One bonus, if you guys, I don't know if this is a time or whatever, but our F-250, I think I fixed it. So I don't think we have to replace it this year if that's where this, I worked hard to try and get money for the gravel reclaimer. So we're gonna make it work, I think, for the year, and then maybe if you guys are okay with it, we'll revisit it for next year, because,
Well, to keep our eyes open for a good truck, that's what we gotta do.
yeah,
We
yeah.
might have to bite the bullet a little sooner, but
I think we have to make sure we have that resolution put in place.
Yeah.
That to happen is to not have it happen.
because I've seen a couple.
We can miss out on the deal.
I have
quick.
too. I've seen probably a dozen good suitable trucks, but they're gone. It's all private sale, right? So
Bang, yeah.
That'd be Johnny on the spot there.
Yeah.
especially on that kind of budget range, it's sort of to get something good because of the price of vehicles now. Like new trucks are 70,000, so a used one's going to be half that. That's half decent, right? So
I've seen 115 of the Dodge, just like what we got, but it was a 2500
Mhm.
with with the Hemi in it,
yeah,
and it was 18 grand.
yeah.
And I'm like, oh, it's perfect. Next day, gone.
Everyone's looking for them style trucks, same as we are. Yeah. So
But yeah, the gas and the diesel is about a $10,000 difference.
yeah.
We don't need.
Well, no, we don't need the diesel,
No.
but that's the difference in the two. Same truck, but diesel motor.
Okay. No, so, but yeah, that's kind of the other thing that I've been working on is making sure that's good. So
Yeah.
yeah. So.
Perfect.
Right on.
May I ask some questions?
I have a question. Do we have enough culverts in stock?
I don't know how many we need to put in.
I was
I
in
don't.
there a while, like it was
Yeah.
in winter or whatever, and I noticed like, I think it was like 18-inch.
There's
There was next to nothing.
There's 0 18 inches and 0 12 inches.
Yeah, I didn't see zero.
We did
12s.
inventory back in the fall, yeah. You'll have to talk to Melissa and I were talking.
Oh, is that right? Oh, okay.
And I'm just trying to,
Yeah.
step on Kevin's,
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
wrong here.
So
But we
maybe
need to,
Kevin could talk to Melissa and find out what our inventory was.
I didn't know we
4
could-
years ago or 5 years ago, because we had a pretty good inventory.
Okay.
Before the flood hit.
yeah.
Because I think those are kind of a common size, I think.
Yes,
And
yeah.
we
Especially
ran,
the
we ran with
18 is very common.
Because I know there's no 18s, because the LED wanted a couple and there was.
Really?
Yeah,
There's
there's
no
no
18s. There's only a small section. we need.
We're definitely due for an order of sorts.
Yeah.
Okay.
The big
Definitely.
24s and all that.
Yeah, 24s are there.
Well, it's there.
Yeah.
18s and 12s.
my neighbor, just
Yeah.
on 90 there, I don't know if you know where.
That's
I
all
live.
good, just go 18s.
18s. That's 87, or 87, 89.
Okay.
The doctor lives right there.
Mhm.
They're culvert in their driveway.
Well, it's just a pain.
Really?
He's worried about his
Maybe okay in town.
Yeah.
3-year-old son.
Yeah.
He rides his tractor around, he's worried he's gonna roll it into the water, because he's getting pretty close to the water, he's daredevil.
Okay.
So it was something maybe we could go and have a look at.
Not much.
Sure.
I was just
So
talking to
that's-
him the other day,
That's 90 and 87.
90, 87.
Volume of water.
and it's warehouse place.
Yeah.
Uh,
I know what Ingrid always said, and even
Kristen
the
Warren.
lady used to be, they said they're basically just a skunk.
You'll
trap.
see the
It's
things.
12
There
inches.
they are.
Okay.
That's if they always went up.
Okay. No, that's fine. Yeah, I can have a look into
I
that.
say in town,
Just have-
maybe
have a move wherever
that,
she
don't
needs.
have no
For sure.
choice.
He thinks it's full of dirt, I think.
Yeah, a lot of our culverts do have a lot of dirt. And
Yeah.
also that snow, whatever we got, they're all half full of ice and snow that's not melting. It's just rock solid. So, yeah. As we steam them out, we're noticing that they're in bad condition. So, but yeah, absolutely. I think we are pretty short on culverts, but I'm not sure how many we are
Yeah.
planned to replace. So that was sort of up in the air.
There should be a list somewhere.
Um,
We used to carry so many of each size.
Okay, so just build up the inventory to what you guys normally had.
Yeah.
Melissa wants that
Yeah,
information.
she'd have that.
She should have it.
And you should maybe look into a head for your steamer.
Yeah.
So then you get the one that pushes it through. The other head, there's another head that has jets going back.
Okay, yeah.
It'll clean the dirt up for you, and you can actually use the clean dirt up.
Okay.
I would check into that just to see, because that thing might come in handy if you're cleaning out culverts for you.
Yeah, there's, on the edge of the culverts, there's material coming in.
Yeah.
The shovel there to get rid of it, and then pressure wash motor, actually, fire truck
Yeah.
motor, whatever you want to call it. So you would have less blockage coming
Yeah,
in.
some of them maybe holding
Oh, yeah,
There's a few of them, I don't know, I have,
Yeah.
there's dirt piled up in front of them.
Yeah.
There's tons of work ahead.
Oh, yeah.
It might be a good little head to get anyways, because it's got the jets that shoot back and then a
Yeah.
couple jets that go forward. So when you pull it back, it's actually cleaning out too.
Yeah, I just got a new tip.
Yeah.
I found one in the shop that wasn't
Oh.
utilized.
Okay.
It was hidden away, and I got
Yeah.
it set up, so we're experimenting with that too. So
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you did a good job getting the culverts cleaned out in a very
Yeah.
timely manner. Thank you for that.
Oh.
The public works guy, get that done. We've done really
Yeah,
well.
thanks for getting to the Huttery, Colin. They were sure happy
no
to see you guys
problem.
show up.
Yeah, no problem. No problem at all. That's what we do. So
Well, it was good, everything's all working fast, seems like.
yeah, absolutely. And I'm happy to work with whatever. If you guys see something and you let me know if it's. We'll get it done if it needs to be done, right? So
At least if you got a note of it, at least you got something to look for later.
That's right.
You know?
I can always use a working list of things to do. Like makes it easy for me. So
So on that note, like I've been sending stuff to Melissa, but you still want me to do that,
Yeah.
right? Send it to you
Yeah.
forward?
yeah, that's ideal. That's how you let me know.
Yep.
Like that's how we're going forward as far as I know. So
Gotcha.
Because everything's getting logged, so then we can keep track of the requests and then their completion as well.
Right on.
oh, that's great.
And then that's recorded and you guys can see the tables in the CAO report. What's been requested, what's complete, what's waiting, what's on hold, etc.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, good. Well,
Thanks, Kevin.
Oh, no problem.
So
Thanks for the sunny weather again.
yes, required, can I get a mover?
I'll do it.
Or seconder? Are you sure? All in favor? Carried.
So do you guys want to continue with new business or do you want to go back up to correspondence?
Let's go back.
Go back up? Okay.
Okay. Chairman's fair sponsorship.
That's it for the year.
Yep. I think we'll just go through
Did we
donations.
change the fair
Right on.
a couple of months ago? Or am I mixing it up with a different event?
Room.
No, never mind, we bought.
Well, that's an easy one, Carol.
Yeah.
You after you fix that up with the chamber.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Thanks, Kevin, have a good day.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin, a lot.
See you around.
Yeah, we'll see you down the road.
We're all looking forward to our field trip.
Yeah.
Me too, actually. All right.
Thank you.
Okay, have a good day, guys.
What did we do last year, guys? Anybody remember?
I can't.
Was it a silver? Did we do anything?
I believe we did last year.
Yeah.
There's Chambers of Commerce.
What do you think, Robert? Chamber of Commerce there. Did we belong? Yep. What did we do last year, do you remember?
For the fair.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to have a meeting if the, like, do we have to adjourn if we even the CEO leave? Or can we keep going? Because we didn't adjourn.
All you were doing was talking to shop foreman, though.
But can we actually have a meeting without the CAO?
You can't make any resolution.
Okay,
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't.
Guessing, I think we did $500.
That's what I thought too, for some reason.
The silver level
Yeah,
sponsorship.
that's what why I had that in my head.
Okay.
And we did that at the BOP or just at the gym?
I don't remember.
Feelings.
BOT? Yeah, I was kind of thought.
Is that where it was?
Yeah, because Colleen had given me that cheat sheet from 2017 to 2020, and I remember seeing it on there.
Okay. Thanks.
Remember cheat sheets.
He's got a good memory.
Yeah. Whereas correspondence was received from the Neepawa District Chamber of Commerce to participate in doing to the 9th Annual Chamber Fair. Therefore be it resolved, council agrees with providing the
Sponsorship.
Hey?
Sponsorship? Oh, Jesus, yeah,
It's supposed to be sponsorship, yeah, not scholarship.
Oops.
Ariel,
Good solution.
sponsorship in the amount of $500. Out of the BLTs. Do I have a mover? On sponsorship. Seconder? Okay, sure. All in favor? Carried. What do we buy this
I don't know, you'd have to check with Melissa on that.
Well, it's kind of,
Unless there's,
you don't have
Yeah.
75 feet of hose very often.
that'll be for the pressure washer, definitely.
Yeah.
And
The
yeah,
pressure-
pressure washer,
it broke.
PW. pressure
Oh.
washer.
Our line burst on the pressure washer, so we're doing all the culverts and stuff.
So we got a longer hose for it.
I don't understand why they can't be doing the two things at
Good
once.
plan.
If it requires.
Burls Trails Arts Council in Curry, Manitoba.
That's something we've done with this particular plot. I've been on council.
I think $200, did I write it at the bottom of it?
No.
I think $200 is what you guys put on.
You said you have done it since you've been on council? Is that what you said? You've done it since you were on council? Is that what you
Oh, for a lot of years. I know when Barry Poinski
Yeah,
was
but
here,
no,
that's a
way so
long
much,
time
they
ago.
just.
Oh, wow, yeah.
We've been doing that.
Okay.
And they get
They get a match from the provincial government.
it's for storage of their costumes or whatever. I'm sure that's what it's for, if I remember right.
Yeah, they helped sponsor the Rocky Mountain Barbecue Steak Night.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, I really thought there was no money involved. It was, we supported it.
No worries.
Oh, they're looking for a letter.
A letter of support, yeah.
And
Yeah.
then for every dollar we receive as gift in kind or cash, we receive a matching amount from the provincial government.
Yeah.
So they would ask us to give a letter and then whatever contribution they would get in kind back from the provincial
Yeah.
government.
We did 200 last year.
I think so. I had written 200 down, but it's not on here.
Ain't no in Calwood.
I think it's a good idea.
Did you have a?
Yes, I do.
Did you read that letter?
Here? From George, yes. Yes. Twice, actually. Short letter.
Whereas correspondence was received from Burles Trail Arts Council requesting support, therefore be it resolved that the council agrees with the providing support in the amount of $200. Out of BLTs also.
Just so everybody knows, the general ledger account that all these come out of is the same as VLT. So
Oh,
it doesn't,
okay, I don't have.
Just makes us feel better.
you can put it as VLT because then you get that specific amount and then
Okay.
when it's used up, it's used up.
Okay. So do I have a mover? Seconder? Sure.
Thank you.
All in favor? Carried. Okay, next. Wounded vet.
So they're asking for donations to
Yeah.
create a digital series of documents, so I'm not quite sure.
And I'm just in opposition to these types of publications, because I just think money should go to the Legion or to get something like that, as opposed to these for-profit organizations that do it. So that's my personal opinion.
I agree with you 100%.
I think last year we didn't do anything either for.
I don't think we did last
year. It's the exact same statement, so
Well, I checked into that, and the head of that Wounded Warriors
Yeah.
makes more money than the Prime Minister.
Okay.
Yeah.
That answers that.
Yeah, $400,000, and he's getting and Trudeau's getting a raise right away.
Right.
He,
He's getting closer, but not quite there.
and the other guy that was previous to the CEO, he made another $100,000 more than the guy right now, so I'm not in favor of donating to that either.
Well, better off getting the Legion.
Yeah, I agree. Local's better.
Local's better, yeah.
Whereas correspondence has been received from the Canadian Military History Guide requesting support to produce a series of digital Canadian military history guides, therefore be it resolved that council disagrees with this providing support of amount.
Just put a period across.
What? Oh, I see. Do I have a mover? Robert Scott. Seconder? Jeff Anderson. All in favor? Carried. Okay, what's next here? Brandon Regional Health Authority request.
A reciprocating saw cost $6,000.
Must be a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Holy
Must come with 3 or 4 firefighters to hold it. I think that's slightly inflated.
We saw it off the end of the bone with
Hmm.
Sounds painful, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
They put you to sleep first, guys.
Yeah. You're laying down on this stick. Hopefully.
How
Don't
do they
think.
use that walk in your back? I wouldn't like that.
No, you would, you might not feel it, you would hear it.
Did they have any requests last year from a student or no? None?
I don't remember this one.
Okay.
I don't remember either.
First time I've seen
I think we have our own hospital that
That's
maybe
where I'm
would
going.
be better.
Yes.
Potentially.
I was gonna say,
I was gonna wait to see.
We just said local is better.
Yeah, well, exactly what it
it.
was.
When you get home, hospital.
let's go note.
Yeah. That's, there was quite a few healthy donations there anyways already.
Yeah.
I think there was almost 475 or 80,000.
Yeah.
I think they're okay. In my
You're
eyes.
gonna need to have to file the money to restock that
Yeah.
addition. Have you seen the
Yeah.
Brandon Hospital?
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh my.
Oh,
Yeah, it was there a while
I know, it all takes a lot of money, doesn't it?
Whereas correspondence was received from the Brandon Regional Health Center Foundation for the 2024 spring campaign for donations, therefore be it resolved that the council disagrees with providing support. Do I have a mover? Robert. Seconder. Excuse me, Jeff Henderson. All in favor? Carried.
Not a big history.
Robert, we need to talk about that one. We need to talk about that one.
Sounds like you're in trouble.
That's why I put the notes on there, so that we would make sure that we had a discussion. Yeah.
I'm not-
House of Commons carbon towers.
So
Now,
that's a no.
Dan Mazer wants all the municipalities to do a bunch of administrative work, excuse me, to make his recording to the federal government on carbon tax and all that. Excuse me, I got something wrong with my throat. At our Mayor and Reeves session in Erickson last week, this was brought up to our discussion. And Minnedosa, Harrison Park, all of us pretty much all agreed, even Mr. Headley and Brian. This is just going to take up too much of our administration time. We're in a budget, getting that ready, training. We don't have the staff to do it, and they all agree that they don't have the staff to do it. So the majority of consensus on all this was that we just write them a letter back and say, no, we just don't have the manpower to carry this through.
And I think if we did go ahead and do it, we're still not going to change anything going forward.
No.
This whole lot of work for nothing.
I think it's just tying up our administration for nothing.
Yeah, exactly, I agree.
So. Whereas correspondence received from Member of Parliament Dan Mazer requesting the gas tax amounts paid in by the municipality. Therefore, be it resolved that council disagrees with providing the information requested. Do I have a mover? Seconder? I'm not sure. All in favor? Carried. Alrighty. On to new business. Reclaimer we did. Development agreement loan.
So I had sent out an email, I don't know if it was last week or the week prior, that gave permission on signing this agreement and sending it. So this is the subdivision associated with the Peterson subdivision. So the land has been sold to Mullins, so now we're entering into the agreement with Mullins instead of Peterson.
Instead of Peterson's, okay.
Yeah, they no longer own the land.
So it's the same agreement, just different ownership.
Right.
Yes. And the response amongst the team was yes, we're permitted to sign it.
So that whereas the development agreement was requested related to the lot number 1, southwest quarter, 22-15-15 WPM, title number 2367435/5. Therefore be it resolved that the CAO and Reeve of the RM of Rosedale be granted authority to sign the development agreement as written on behalf of the municipality. Do I have a mover? Seconder? Robert Scott. All in favor? Carried. Okay, dust control.
Are you sending that out to everybody that got dust control?
We'll put it in the paper.
Okay.
Yeah, and then folks, I'm assuming will call in and we could reach out to the folks that did last year to say, hey, are you still interested? Have you seen the ad in the paper? Because they'll have to enter into an agreement with us and give us funds to pay for it ahead of time. And then we'll make arrangements with the dust control company.
Guess my neighbor missed it.
It hasn't been in the paper
Well,
yet.
no, man,
No.
last year.
Focusing.
Missing
Okay.
last year, so he didn't get it.
But different
When was it
invoices.
coming? I said,
They
well, it's
were-
already come and gone.
Oh, shoot.
So-
Okay.
But I just was wondering if you were sending it out to all the people that used to get it, or if you're just putting it in the paper and watch for it in the paper. Because a lot of people don't read the papers.
I think generally it has in the past only been in the paper. Because we don't spend the administrative
That's
time
minus.
calling everybody to see if they want to do
I
it.
remember what it was. Unless you remember it was an
Looks like they built it.
Mm. Perhaps, I
So you
can
can
look into that
cancel
actually and see.
But
Karen-
I'll make sure I tell them.
And it's here.
Yeah, Karen kept very good records, so if it was sent,
Yeah,
she'll have
but
it
the
saved.
I'll make sure I tell them.
Yeah,
So don't miss this
don't do
year.
it.
What I just wanted you guys to take a look at the table to understand the costs to the
Yeah, but
RM.
did we get billed?
And if you agree, because I need to set the cost when I put it in the paper to let everybody know, this is how much it's gonna cost you, and you'd have to give us a rotated check to do it, or e-transfer, whatever people choose, and then go from there.
Oh,
I think it went up last year.
it's minus, okay.
It used to be 300.
So that's the
Then it went to
breakdown.
360.
Yeah, the breakdown's in the spreadsheet.
Breakdowns
So
in your spreadsheet there.
if we do 100 feet, 300 feet, 500 feet, the costs associated are there to pay the actual service provider. Plus, we're staking everything, plus the labor to go stake all the properties, and then administrative cost to arrange everything for everybody, and then the total amount. So I have the suggested prices at the end there, so you guys can decide
For
if you
100 feet,
think that's not
150
enough,
bucks.
or it should be more, or what have you.
300 feet, 360, and 500 feet, 570.
It's, yeah, I have no problem, it's just we've been more than last year, but everything's gone up too, right? So-
Right.
And if it's covering all our basic costs, then so be it.
Yeah, because it was 300 the year before last year.
Well,
Yeah,
the
it
prices
went
are
to
there.
300. No, I'm saying, like the
2023.
year before 2023 it was 300.
300 feet.
Oh, I can pull that
I think
for
that's what it
2022 if you guys
Yeah, I
want
think that's
that.
what it was, and then it went to 350.
We're actually $5 cheaper than last year.
Well, yeah, that's what
Yeah,
maybe
saying.
we should just leave that one alone at
Whatever.
575.
Yeah.
Probably cost of the
So
council,
we'll
who
leave
knows?
that.
Oh,
575.
Yeah.
I appreciate you thinking of me, but
What hasn't went up.
$5 cheaper.
So that's 500 feet,
Yeah, 500.
575.
So I don't know if you guys think labor and fuel, the rate that is in the spreadsheet is appropriate, or
Well,
you
you're
think it
covering-
should be more
You're
or
covering
less?
the minimum cost, because they won't do one in their area, they'll do that, but you're doing minimum cost.
Right.
Yeah,
there,
two
for
guys
sure.
will go
Yeah,
together.
but it's
We'll
covering
see.
the
This is,
cost.
it's not a moneymaker, that's for sure.
No, 100%
No.
not. But it's
I don't
it's
think
a
it ever
godsend
was.
as far as the, when you put it in the right
It's
places.
a service site.
Yeah,
So the 100 feet, we're good with 150?
yeah. It probably works out for, by the foot or something.
And then the second at 360?
Yeah.
And then we got lots of stuff on that. Whereas dust control service has been offered to the RM of Rosedale ratepayers in the past, therefore be it resolved that the council does approve this service to be offered again in 2024. Furthermore, if you resolve that the charges rate to the service will be as follows: 100 feet at the cost of 150, 300 feet at the cost of 360, and 500 feet at the cost of 575. Do I have a mover for Scott? Seconder? Sure.
Did you say 575 now?
For the 500 feet, yeah.
Yeah,
500.
because we're keeping it the same.
Yeah, just.
Yeah.
I missed that
Oh, Brad,
detail.
you go, you were, put glasses on you?
Will a copy of that go to our gravel pit owners? Because it's in their agreement to put dust control down for their neighbors?
I can.
That should happen, I think, because I had a couple of suggestions come from my own ward about the gravel pit there, so, because the owner there did not put the dust control down last year either, so.
I think there's also a provincial program that is administered out of us as well. So I'll be reaching out to infrastructure and transportation to understand if they're going to do it again this year or not.
For 1 second.
Sure.
So,
Their rates are cheaper.
is that like, say not our pit, somebody else's
The
pit?
gravel pit owner would, is.
We're not gonna put it down for the person.
Well, we would put it down, but at their cost, right?
Yeah.
Pit owner's cost, that's how that
That's
works,
it.
yeah.
There are locations that we hire the province to do for us.
Oh, yeah.
On 471, for
Yeah.
example, there are locations
Okay.
that we ask the province
Right.
to put dust control down.
And 265 too, no?
Yeah, I did, there's like 12
Valley.
locations that are being done. And the way I understand it is the ratepayer will fill out the documentation and they basically give it to us. So we know where
It's going.
it's going.
Mhm.
And then it gets sent into the province for them to come in.
Because highways, I believe, is
Apply.
cheaper. Still cheaper, yeah, I don't know how.
Yeah,
I'm sure
they are
Hunting's
cheaper. Yeah,
Right,
yeah. I don't know how they, because our cost, they can do it for less than our cost to the company.
They must be a bigger quantity.
Or they're subsidized.
More volume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They used to do a lot of that for free.
Oh, the province?
PRs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I'm either doing the math wrong, or like the pricing doesn't seem to work. Like, why is the $500 foot more expensive per foot than the 100 foot?
Well, it shouldn't be because it's all calculated square footage wise,
Yeah, but-
converted to meters squared times
How do
the
you
cost.
figure that? It's those-
So 1.8 meters is what's utilized per meter squared.
500 feet,
And then it's-
It's the Fort distributor's
Yeah, it's
cost.
the same price.
Yeah,
It's the
that's
same
the
price.
Fort
But they were
distributor's
just-
cost.
Yeah.
You say here,
It's the
it's
same
$125 for 100 feet, so that should be
Like,
Well, that's why I
Five
said,
times.
times it by 3.
like,
so it should be
therefore, the
370.
Fort distributor's price,
Oh, yeah.
if you do
You just get a little bit
$521
better
for
deal.
Yeah.
If you
500
buy
feet.
more because it's
That's
less
a dollar
going
for-
around in a small
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is, Jeff, is I think it's just more,
One is
Yeah.
five
the small
times.
spot. It pushes people to want to go to the 300,
Yeah.
because you get a little bit better deal.
I calculated it all per meter squared and I sent the calculations to Fort to say, is this correct? And they said, yep, those are the right calculations, so it's all the same conversion rates.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if you're doing, are you doing the end cost or are you doing the,
I was trying to quickly do the Fort distributor's cost without driving too much time in here. So, but if you double check the numbers, so
I
not
sent-
your numbers, the Fort distributor's numbers, then I'm happy.
So, all in favor? Carried.
because if we're doing the end cost, of course, the setup cost is higher on if you're doing 100.
Yeah, and I was only doing their cost.
This is the same product we got last year, right, Melissa?
Yeah, but it's the same. So if you do
What's
the
it,
500 feet cost of Fort divided by 5, or you do the 300 feet cost divided by 3, it should equal the 100 feet.
It's very close, it's fine.
It's a little bit different, not much.
Not much.
It'll be rounded,
Yeah.
probably.
I was just looking at the part of it's $125 for 100 feet, so it should be 3 times that, so it should be 375, shouldn't it? Instead of 350.
Well, setup cost for 100 feet and setup cost for 500 feet is the
That's
same
the part,
cost.
yeah.
Yeah,
Volume discount.
Yeah,
yeah.
volume.
Bigger.
Bigger.
Take it on volume.
Bigger, better.
So if I take it,
So if you take 1,000 feet, then you're just paying.
It'll be free. How much do you gotta pay to get it for free?
Yeah.
You have to work for that.
Okay, 6.3 deficit recovery 2022
Well, I'm just.
fiscal one.
doing 100 miles an hour.
Doing that, trying to listen to your stuff.
Yeah.
So in 2022, after the final audit was done, there was a deficit recognized in the final audit numbers of $31,066. So in order to recuperate the deficit that was recognized in 2022, we have to ask for minister approval. So you can recover your deficits in multiple ways. You can recover it through surplus, which our surplus is very small, or you can recover it through taxation. I am suggesting that we recover it through taxation due to our percentages being quite tight for recovering it through surplus. But it's up to you all how you would like to recuperate the 31,000. And then you just put it in budget for this year to either recoup it through tax or recoup it through surplus. So what will happen after the resolution is decided, then I'll send the letter to the minister for approval. And then once approval is granted, then we'll recover the surplus from funds, the funds you decide.
I think according to the information provided, unfortunately, we have to do recovery through taxation. Is my thoughts.
That's pretty much what I thought too.
I think there's something around right now.
Yes, yeah, we're not the only.
Talked to the few different RMs and
No, yeah,
some, I talked to one there and they said 13.5% they're going up this year. You've got no choice, they don't have no issue.
I think all levels of government are running into situations, so.
Brandon's already up to 18.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be 10, they're already up to 18.
yeah, well, talking, Harrison Park shop there's like 1.5.
It's, well, look at the graders and how much they went up, you know, like we,
Fuel?
just the fuel. That's the other one, another big cost, the fuel. It's just everything is going. And
Whereas under the Municipal Act, council must obtain a written approval of the minister for all actual deficits in the general operating fund. And whereas the rural municipality of Rosedale has shown a general operating fund deficit in the amount of $31,066 for the 2022. Whereas the,
The rationale for
rationale for the deficit is to combine of over expenditure due to costs incurred for transport service, and whereas the municipality must provide the minister with a plan as how the municipality plan to recover the deficit amounts. Therefore, let it be it resolved that the council of the RM of Rosedale requests the minister consider the deficit to be recovered by taxation. Holy moly. Do I have a mover? Robert Scott. Seconder. Oh,
No, go ahead. I don't write the resolutions to be mean to Carl. That's actually what we need to supply to.
no, that's fine. I can't seem to spit the words out. All in favor? Carried. Sorry. Permission landowner to extend culvert. Where is this option?
2 miles south of the county.
2 miles south of Cullen?
Yeah, one on the west side of the highway, one on the east side of the highway.
So previous owner was Darren Unger, is that correct?
Yeah.
Still the owner and that's been sold?
One sold,
Oh,
he's still the
there
owner, one
is
is,
arrows?
it's just,
I don't know where.
Once- he's still the
I
owner
just
of
know
one.
it's these two properties because I didn't get the information on where, the location.
one is right up here.
Well, it's not on number
No,
one.
not that far up. Right here. This is one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
And then this is one approximately there in the middle, in the quarter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There,
Yeah.
Makes sense to you?
Yeah.
And he just wants permission to do the work. He doesn't want nothing from us. That's, Stefan,
What are the,
the point is doing the work.
There's no culverts?
He's gonna do it all himself. So he just wants permission to do it.
How big an extension is he thinking? What that matters, I guess?
I never thought to ask that question honestly, but when he said it was no cost, I thought, do I need to, but it's big equipment, so it'll be one culvert more for sure. Because where it is there now is about 12 or 14,
Yeah.
12 or 14 foot culvert there now, maybe running on the one field, and then they're just,
So he'll
they
be-
can't get it. They actually come out with the combines last year to dump grain on the road because they couldn't get the carts in out of there and the trucks and stuff.
Well, if he's doing the work and it's
Yeah,
his
it's no-
time, so it's a no-brainer.
It's no lose for us.
Yeah.
And he
As long as
just,
he does it correctly, and maybe it should be overseen by.
well, maybe we can
Yeah,
mark
let's
that in
order
the check
it
and see.
and
'cause-
take a look.
Yeah.
Or we'll have a look, make
Yeah,
sure it's done.
make sure it's done, yeah.
is there a reason not to just rubber stamp it? Like, is
Well, one of the two spots, the one west of the highway, there's a minimal amount of water that goes through that culvert anyway. And the east side is about the same, but it's not the big ditch, so it's just more about access for that. But I would say no to it, if you answer the question. If it was on a big ditch and you wanna maybe do a little more homework, but it's just too small. You can almost fill that one ditch in and you wouldn't need a culvert, but there's always a bit of water.
and does this get into, like, anything issues with Ingrid? And
No, I don't think
It's
it's
extensions, no.
It's,
No.
no.
It's
It's
not
all
upsizing
on
her.
top, you're not going.
Yeah, we're not
She
upsizing
don't-
her.
Changing nothing.
No.
Extension, she doesn't care.
No, she doesn't mind those. Right there.
It'd be changing up, yeah.
Yeah, if you're charging a date, that starts a concern.
Whereas the landowner has requested permission to perform work on the M Northwest 33-18-15 and Northeast 34-18-15 WPM to extend culverts, whereas the landowner will purchase, install, and perform the work at their cost. Therefore, be it resolved that the Council of the Municipal of Rosedale does allow the landowner permission to complete the requested work related to the extension of the culverts. Do I have a mover? Earl Burton. Seconder?
I'll second that.
David Tedder. All in favor? Carried. Okay. Oh, approach. Permission to alternate access approach.
This one came up last fall, and we did part of it.
Okay.
This is at Floyd Bowles' place.
Oh,
And
okay.
there's no culvert or anything required. All they need is some dirt put up so they can go off 471 into the field west of their house. So we got the one done on, I guess it's Bray's farm last year, the same thing, just some dirt in the ditch so they can get under the hydro line, because they lost access to that field when that property was subdivided and sold.
Oh, okay.
So this one here, it did come up, and the old shop foreman knew about it, but we never got both jobs done.
Okay.
So this one I'm thinking would be a couple of hours likely at the most, and there's dirt right there. So,
No culvert required.
no, it's kind of on the knoll.
Yeah.
I guess it was, Hydro must have cut those trees on that 471, eh?
Had to have been, because they did that back road by my place, they cut all those trees, they're all laying in the ditch.
Just dropped them.
Yeah.
So who covers that? Who cleans that up?
We do.
We do.
do.
I didn't know who did
They don't have
that.
progresses.
They used to,
I had a conversation
but
with, we'll get
now
to
they'll
that.
tell you that those trees aren't our trees.
All right, yeah, I guess
So
so.
we're doing you a
There it
service
is.
by dropping.
I heard that too.
But that's their policy.
Yeah,
so-
no, that's fine. It just, I didn't know who picked it up, so. Okay.
That's fired when I'm picking it up.
Well, there's some on my road then, Jeff, if you want to look at it.
Whereas the landowner has requested alternate access to property located at southwest 4-16-15 WPM on Road 88 West. And whereas the landowner would like to understand if the RM of Rosedale will perform a service at the cost of the RM of Rosedale, or the RM, or at a cost of the landowners.
So
There.
that's one decision you guys need to make. Are you
Yeah, I
gonna
guess so.
recover the cost from the landowner, or are we gonna pay for it? And then, are we gonna do it or not, I guess? So, I don't know if because everybody wasn't listening to the resolution.
Right.
So the landowner had come in to request it, and I said, I don't know if council's gonna decide that you would be responsible for the cost, or we would be responsible for the cost, so I'll present it to council. So then you guys can decide, is the landowner responsible, or are we responsible? And then if whatever direction we go, then we would just charge them based on our charges that we charge all the ratepayers, or we would just do the work.
I know in the past, especially when there was no culvert to be put in, most people paid a lot of taxes over time, and we always consider it to be a service they gotta be able to get. There's just no way you can come out of that field onto that road. And I'm thinking a couple of hours, put some dirt in. But the thing is now, as soon as you move these things, you gotta stay really close to hydro pole, because the equipment can't get under the line if it's mid-span.
Yeah, yeah.
So I would suggest that we do this. We did the one for Bray's at the cost to the municipality as a service.
This is
So that's what I would recommend,
This
this
is
is
for green.
this one. It's a different thing if it requires a culvert
Oh, yeah, culvert or.
and a lot of work. So,
You know, we've done them before, we supplied the culvert, and they covered it in different places, like Spring Hill did a couple of them at a time, remember? We supplied the culvert, they did the work.
yeah, and that was a big, very big contribution from the
Yeah.
from the RM.
Because I know we used to go and do it all. We'd go and put the culvert in, we put everything, build the whole
Yeah.
approach. But then it just got to the
I think
landowner.
it depends if they already have access. If they're requesting duplication, they should probably pay for their duplication.
Oh, yeah.
If they don't have an
Yeah.
access,
Yeah.
it makes sense, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I know like there were some of the colonies, their access wasn't good. It was, so we just threw the culvert in for them, and they brought the fill, and they filled it all in, and then.
Oh, nice.
But lots of landowners don't wanna wait either. It's a waiting game too.
Exactly.
If you bring the pipe, we'll put her in, yeah, that's right.
Therefore be, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Therefore be it resolved that council of the rural municipality of Rosedale will approve permission to alternate access at landowner's request. Therefore be it resolved that the council of the RM of Rosedale will not, charge the landowner for the work performed. Do I have a mover? Scott. Seconder? All in favor? Carried. Okay. Sandbagger rental.
So last spring, I think the council approved to buy a piece of sandbagging equipment in response to disaster financial assistance or preventive maintenance plan in regards to flooding. So the suggestion was that maybe we should try to rent it if needed to other areas. Of course, we're in a drought situation here this year, but maybe other areas are flooding. So we just wanted to set the cost, similar to how we would set the cost for grading and tractor and such, so that we can add it to the list. And then if anybody inquires about rental, then we can rent it out.
It's a service we can provide to somebody else if they, you get a spring flood or something like that, or a spring or summer flood, like Tom Mendoza or something like that.
Yeah.
The chance of us using it are probably slimming down, so we might as well have it utilized.
Utilize it definitely.
Where is this machine
At the
located?
shop.
It has it has two adapters on it. One you can put it on a skid steer, and the other one's got the Euro adapter, so you can put it on the front end loader of a tractor. So it has both
Okay.
adapters on it. So it is a universal machine. So it actually, you just go into the sand pile, and the bags are hanging underneath, you lift it up, and poof, done. It all goes in there.
It makes it sound good.
Bill, I got it work for you.
To me, this is a hard one to do a cost on, because, you know, they're already in a pickle already, you know, like people that are gonna use.
That's
it.
true.
It's hard to say, well, I'm gonna charge you this much, and you're already getting flooded out, half of your houses are gone, and you wanna charge.
But this would like be rented to a
Yeah.
municipality or a company that's making the sandbags versus private citizen, I would suspect.
It's one of those things that it's
So it
hard
comes
to.
back, wreck, we, same thing too, you land it
Yeah.
out, and then it comes back
Right.
damaged.
Yeah.
You know, the person renting it has to pay for the damage release. And if we're supplying the bags to them, we have to recoup, we replenish the stock, okay?
So what would a fare per day be? I mean, I don't know what that thing's worth, so.
I think it was worth, what was it,
20,000. 18,000.
Yeah.
And was that
So I was
rent?
thinking,
Or it was
top
somebody
between
else's
500 and
money?
800 bucks a day.
Well, we don't have the money
Is
yet.
just a number.
We theoretically.
Between
thought someone
500
else's
and
money.
800 per day.
We have till this
Per
coming
day.
Wednesday to pull it back.
And then the cost of the
Ah,
bag
lots
is
of time.
$60 a bag, 60 cents a bag, pardon me. The cost of the bag, if you have to buy 6,000 bags, it costs you 45 cents a bag. Minimum order size bags, 45 cents. So if somebody decides they need to use it, bang, we have supply on hand, so, you know, we might as well be adding some dollars to it at 60 cents per bag that they use.
Yeah. So for in terms of mutual aid, like if there's a disaster in Minnedosa, like I'm using mutual aid loosely.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that fall under that, like the fire departments do, like where they know that they can come and get this sandbagger if the municipality or the town needed it? Is that how it would happen? As opposed to a landowner that wants to rent it for
Ranch, it's gonna be more like a town or an RM that's going to utilize the equipment more compared to a landowner, I would think.
And that's a good question, because in comparison to what we call mutual aid for fire departments is sharing of equipment. But you run your own equipment. In this case, I mean, we all know we pay X dollars for the neighbors, municipalities to green our roads and mow our grasses. And this is kind of be like that to me. Because I mean, it's where not everybody needs to own one of these. So if that municipality has something we needed to rent, it would be the same in reverse, in my opinion. But I don't know, because mutual aid means sharing, and that way we're not recouping anywhere. I mean, this ain't, I mean, it could break or bend or whatever, right? So having a rent fee on it to cover our potential damage, I guess.
This thing actually is saying, home with Minnedosa again. The DFA should probably give them the money for the machine, you would think, you know, for somebody to come in.
Well,
Like, I don't know, like,
it's equipment they don't have.
wasn't it, what's his name, Clausen went in there with his truck and everything and brought sand and all that. I don't know how that worked.
Yeah,
He volunteered his truck or whatever to.
At the beginning.
Yeah, I don't know how that worked.
Yeah.
Well, the guarantee if you have a disaster, there'll be aid for them to
When you
recoup the
think
cost
so.
for this machine.
It would go down as their list of expenses
Yeah.
they had to incur, right? As far as I would assume.
Yeah.
But I think
I
it's
just
good to
like
have
the front of
something
charging
valuable.
somebody's already in a hole buried already.
That's true.
I don't think we have mutual aid agreements with everybody in regards to flooding and such.
Yeah.
Fire, yes,
Yes.
but I don't think in regards to flooding.
Well, technically, this machine could end up anywhere in the province.
Mhm.
Like when it was flooding in the north a few years ago, this machine could, or this, it's not a machine, it's just a bucket, really. But I mean, it could end up anywhere. You could throw it on a flat deck and it could be in
Yeah.
Swan River in a few hours. Right? So that would be my thinking on how this would come out.
So
Yes.
also in the resolution, I have the rental per day, the bag
Sure.
cost,
Yeah.
and then also how to get it to and from. So if they come pick it up, good.
Yeah.
If we deliver it, there would be a charge for
Another cost.
And then
that. So I just tied it to mileage.
Because it's like $600 a day or something too much.
I wouldn't think so.
It's not long,
Well,
But I don't know
It's
if
a
that-
long day, 24 hours is a long day.
Because if it's
Bagging nonstop.
if it's $20,000 value,
Yeah.
I don't know how you figure out what the end game is. Because it's
Yeah, you're pretty much just making up a number, aren't you?
yeah, I guess throw it in the wind, kind of see what sticks.
And they're gonna use it a couple, 3 days and then it's
Yeah.
probably sitting again, right?
Because it's better to get something than nothing, because if it's broken when we get it back, then at least you got an agreement signed of some sort.
Yeah, and there's also staff costs with getting it ready for them.
Right on,
Yeah,
yeah.
pick it up and clean it, grease it, and whatnot when it's
Yeah.
back.
So yeah, 600 I don't think is unrealistic.
And then if you do your 60 cents a bag a day, and then the mileage, it's, 50 cents a kilometer is what we get paid, so that would be a number to put there.
Well, it'd be, yes, for that.
Well, it'd be a truck and trailer, I guess, so too.
Well,
You could put it in the trailer, you could put it in the back of the truck.
Oh,
Yeah,
fit,
you
yeah.
put it back to half ton.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, so then it's
It's
just.
a 320 unit.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think the bags, you know, if you made a nickel on every bag, that's money made.
Because we're gonna stock those bags, if we're gonna send them along. If you're gonna have 6,000 bags, we're gonna have to stock them somewhere clean with no mices.
Yeah,
Exactly.
We already have a stockpile there, I don't know how many there is, but there's lots.
Because they should be inside of a container. 'cause
You guys buy
that's-
six, you have to buy minimum order 6,000 bags at 45 cents.
At 40%.
I would suggest we give the initial, and then if they need it for longer, they're responsible to buy their own bags.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to be inventorying those types of things,
No.
and then it's a cost for us and storage costs for us.
Yeah.
So we have this lot
Of
that
bags.
we could initially give you, and then you're responsible to get bags from wherever.
The thing is, they could have their own bags, they could have one
Yeah.
machine already, so they just want two to bag
Yeah.
faster, you know, like,
That's fine too.
so whatever, we don't need.
But it's an
every-
option they could have if we got bags anyway.
Yeah,
so-
right out the gate, we can give them
Yeah.
Yeah.
that charge
Well,
for the
give them
bags, and then.
6,000 bags to start with, and that's our minimum order, so then
Yeah.
that covered two bases, right?
If they need it.
If they need
Yeah,
it.
yeah. And that's my thinking on the numbers, just to get the number in the
6,000
slot.
bags don't go very far.
What was the math on
When you start
the
stacking
order for bags?
6,000 bags.
Yeah.
At 45 cents.
A bag.
Yeah.
Per bag.
Yeah, I can't do it in my head. Damn.
Come on.
I can't.
Well, 50 cents would be three.
Yeah, it's
33.
just under three, so $2,700.
27, okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm just trying to think of, like, you gotta make your daily rate then enough that you can reorder your bags if you use them all, just without having any cash implications.
Cash product, yeah.
I think Watershed carries a bunch of stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The chance of renting is probably maybe not great, but at least we have something in place.
Well, it's covered that way.
If all of a sudden something happens, then you're not gonna have a special meeting to.
Right.
Thing that.
And I think it's more important to let people, places like Minnedosa know that we have it available for them.
Or the town
They
meeting,
need
or whoever, yeah, it's available, that's all it is.
So I say we should do 600 a day, 6 cents a bag, and then the kilometer thing I'm confused about, because if we get 50 cents a kilometer to come here, what is it worth for public works to deliver that someplace? A kilometer, that's it, because it'll be a man driving the vehicle, or a person, say, driving the vehicle.
You almost look at a.
$2 a click.
Okay?
Jeff said $2 a click. That's a number, it's good enough numbers, isn't it?
Yeah.
$2 a click.
It's not gonna go far.
I'm sure everybody picked it up now.
Yeah.
No, that's, but you gotta have something that,
Yeah.
Paul, to make it work out.
So
do we have something to
600,
load it there?
600 a day,
60
Oh, yeah.
cents a bag.
Yep.
All day long, yeah.
And
It's not that big.
$2 per click.
It would be, it's about 6 feet wide and 4 feet, 6 by 4.
Whereas the RM of Rosedale has sandbagger machine available for use, and whereas the RM is willing to offer equipment for rent, therefore be it resolved that the council of the RM of Rosedale will provide the sandbagger equipment for rent. Further be it resolved that the rental cost will be $600 per day. Sandbags will be available as an option for renters as a cost of 60 cents per bag. A setup delivery charge will be determined if the equipment cannot be picked up or dropped off after use at the charge of $2 per kilometer, right? And $2 per kilometer to and from the location. Do I have a mover? I'll move it. Do it. Second. Or burden.
Either one.
Yeah, whatever. All in favor? Carried. Okay. Hydro, Russian cutting.
It was about a week ago, had the hydro representative give me a call, and he mentioned about the potential of cutting some trees along the 352 right where the Burning Memorial Park is. So after talking to him, I said, well, he said the same thing, it's your trees, right? And I says, well, not really. I says, that's actually Department of Highways right there, looks after that stretch of road. So I indicated to them to reach out to Department of Highways if they're going to brush it, it'd be up to them to clean up the fallen trees. Because as we just said earlier, Hydro says that's somebody else's tree, it's not ours. They knock them down and whoever else cleans them up, so. Anyway, she reached back to the natural guy, phoned me back, he said, well, it's in the office, but I don't know what's gonna happen going forward. And I got left at that, so whether they're gonna do it or not do it, but he knows that he has to contact the Gladstone Department of Highways, because that's Gladstone looks after that stretch of highway, so. Information is what that is.
Okay.
And is that information then passed on to Kevin, so he's on top of that?
So I think we need to also look at a plan for gathering firewood for the landfills during the winter months, because currently we're purchasing it and paying delivery and such. So I think there is wood around, so that might be a good source. I don't know how big the pieces would be.
Actually, are we gonna get somebody to cut it, or our public works department's gonna cut it?
That or green team or
Okay.
what have you.
Because there's some that was done on Road 102 this past year, brush cut back, there's some wood there that's available. Also had a landowner just recently called me 2 days ago and wanted to know if he could cut the wood there. unfortunately, I said yes at that time, but I could put a limit on it, right? And say you can do so much and we can do so much. Because there's some nice poplar trees there for firewood.
Yeah,
So,
because that would cut down on the cost that we have for,
It'd be a good thing for the green team, I would think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It'd be an excellent
depending on
one.
who we hire, if they have the ability to use chainsaws and such.
On that back road by my place, there's lots too.
Yeah, there's lots.
X-ray, you know what I mean?
Conflict of interest here.
Write them up.
Okay,
That's for other people.
EFA site project plan.
So I'm gonna rely on the council because these are not my topics. So if you wanna present whatever you wanna discuss, and then we can go from there.
in reviewing this, an idea I had on this, or thought, is some of these sites are not completed. Some are from Santec and everything else, or other engineering sites. But the way I look at it, the previous contractor that did the initial repair should actually be authorized to go ahead and complete the repair as compared to, what's the company that did it, I guess, when the DFA sites person come out. So say.
Santec.
Hey,
Santec.
Santec, yeah. So anyways, when, say we'll use, Pat Baker did X number of sites, those sites he should be revisiting and repairing back to where Santec said we're supposed to do it. Give him the opportunity. He started the job, but didn't finish the job. It's basically where that thought come from. Instead of tendering it out.
We just did a quick batch, I mean, that's what he was told to do, not that he didn't finish the job.
Yeah, I don't know, it was just
Yeah.
just
To get it opened up.
Get it opened up, we'll get it
Yeah,
on.
yeah, I realize that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would speed up the process to let them revisit the same sites, so.
Yeah, and you're not doing a tendering process and doing a whole bunch of information, you're going back to the person that did the original job and just finish the job and get it over with. Just, that's my thoughts on that.
Good. And the top one on the list said the repairs are complete, and I can tell you with all the certainty in the world that it's not. There's a hole there you can put this courthouse in.
So there we go.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. It's small.
Found a home for this.
Yeah. But that's the one site that's in my own, one of the big sites there.
I've got one site here that I don't even know where it is. Well, I know where it is, but I don't know,
What it is.
yeah, what it is. Southwest of 41616, right towards the bottom. It says not complete, I don't know. I don't remember a site being there, no.
We can pull the paperwork.
41616.
What number are those?
34.
34, number 34.
Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah, 34, right, okay, sorry.
But it doesn't even have a description of what the work is to be done.
That's right on 471, because I know that corner, but,
94 west and 90.
yeah.
90 and 94.
471 in Western Rejects corner.
Okay.
I don't know what could possibly be there.
I would click on that thing first.
I don't remember that anywhere.
And then just,
This is on 471.
But you have to
It's
click
one that
on
is
that
cheaper.
first, you gotta open it up first. That's $5.
Trying to see what other.
So,
For me.
Easy old.
Yeah.
88,
Scrappy belly dancing on the weekend.
I'll slow up.
Slow
Yeah,
dancing.
yeah, you're right on, right there.
Yeah, I know exactly where they mean.
Oh, that's probably where it's off 471, it's probably where that hump is up the road there right now. That's kind of a gravel wash. Guess no. Just to the east of the 90. Or
East of
or east
90s,
of, yeah, east
94.
of 94,
It'd be east of 94, but what there? I don't know.
yeah.
I mean, I know the water jumped across the road just west of Jim Coach, but that was fixed up. I don't know.
Something tells me that's in this one, I think that's complete.
I don't even know what.
Because I started into this and back when in January, we didn't know what we're going for with the public work department, so
Really?
I did do a bunch of research for Melissa, so. And I dropped it off, well, of course, that's what has to be done, I just
Yeah.
passed the torch back to Kevin and Melissa on it. But I don't have 34 written, That's on my, I know it's sitting there, but,
Going west on 94 is.
but I think in the green copy, I'm pretty sure it's complete. I don't know
Yeah,
why it's on here, to be honest with you.
if anything, it would have been that, where the water jumps through the Colchers, just west of Colchers, and that's,
Yeah.
in my eyes, is complete.
Yeah.
And if that's the spot they talked about, what are they, I don't remember DFA sector or not.
Yeah. During the big gun.
Where's the other few I have there?
Melissa?
Yes.
The one thing that I had, like when I had sent that email to Carl, and like, cause this has been, I've mentioned it before, but, the one thing that I just wanted to say on record is that my dream is that this just doesn't, the institutional knowledge doesn't get lost between transition between former employees and new employees. But I just really wanted that it's put on the Public Works foreman plate and make a plan. And I want to know that knows that he's making a plan, and then we all trust him to do it. And you report to us that yes, he made progress. That's my dream.
We've already spoke of it, so I meet with the foreman every week to discuss what's going on and what we're doing moving forward. So this spreadsheet didn't have all the information previously in it. I just populated it this week, and then we're making the plan to go forward. So you can see in column,
Structural damage.
it'll say Public Works or tender. So we've decided we're gonna tender some sites because we don't have the equipment or the capability to do the job. And then there's comments as well. And my intention is to actually, from the word sheets, whatever work is needed to be done to, sorry, not the word sheet. The DFA claim sheet, whatever was put in there, to put those comments in this spreadsheet, and then also put the equipment requirement and then the material requirement in here. So we know what the heck we used for equipment versus material. And then also has a claim already been submitted, yes or no? So claims have already been submitted for some of these sites. So I need to go back through the files to understand what's been submitted, how much we've claimed against the site, and then in Earl's situation, site 1, it's saying it's done, but it's not done.
Right.
So then how do we open that up with DFA, because it's not complete, to actually put charges against that site again?
And I recognize that you're under significant time pressures at this point, but this, I think, is another significant time pressure because there's deadlines on this.
Yes.
So are you able to do all of this and the budget and not have to blow another deadline? Like, or does something, do you need resources? Is there something that needs to happen now, or can you and Kevin do it? Or is that too big a question?
There's 10 tenders that need to be written, so I need to understand what the heck we're doing, basically, with the tender itself, because there are engineered requirements that would support that tender process that need to be complete, and then we need to tender it out, get the tenders, decide on the tenders, and move forward in that manner, and then there are some sites that Public Works can do. But we also need to reach out to Stantec on 2 of those sites, because they're suggesting to use clay, and clay in those locations, it's bridge repair, is very labor intensive, so we wanted to reach out to them to understand if we could just use concrete instead of hand shoveling clay into there, building the support system. So that work needs to be done as well.
So that's why I suggested this to go back to original contractor, so that you get less tenders to write. It would simplify things.
Yeah, I'll have to go through the paperwork anyways to understand who, but then I have to go through the paperwork anyways to understand if a claim's been submitted or not. Because the paper process is very intense in claiming the funds back. We also have about, the resolution I found that was signed off for Burns Mandel to do work for us, engineering wise on site 10 and 20 was 97,000. So we have that to claim against DFA as well to recuperate those funds for us.
And if I'm not mistaken, when those engineering sites were done, that company then would look after getting a contractor to complete those 2 sites. Is that correct?
I'm not sure.
Well, see, and that's what I
But
thought
that's
too.
what I thought.
But nothing seems to actually be happening, and that's what I'm nervous about.
Yeah, and I think that's why we need to let Melissa dig into it and say, okay, she can get a hold of Burns Mandel, okay, well, we give you $90,000. What are you doing for the rest of it, type of thing?
Well,
to get clarification on.
We have the information from Burns Mandel. It was presented a couple meetings back. I think we just need to decide what option we're gonna pick out of those reports. So I can send those around to everybody for review.
Or,
Also,
or we just, like, putting motion saying that it's in your hands and make it happen? Or do we actually have to approve all the details?
I don't think you have to approve all the details, but I think we need to understand what option we need to choose from Burns on those bigger sites. Site 10, I understand is probably a site we need to fix, but site 20, I think it's the Trans-Canada Trail. And I think it's gonna cost like a substantial amount of money to fix it. And my question is, why are we spending that much money on not even a road? So council, I think, needs to review what is being suggested by Burns.
I don't even know why it even got engineered, to be honest with you.
That,
We
I'm
asked
assuming
for
that's
bids, so
out of
that-
our hands.
Yeah, that was done by the
That's-
higher power.
DFA would decide that, I'm assuming, because I have, say, 8, 27, 10, 20, and there's a 30 that's engineered as well.
But we get reimbursed these funds, right?
Yes, yeah, all the funds are reimbursed, we just need to make the claim. Yeah, so 12, 14, and 17 are also engineered, 18, 8, 27, 10, and 20.
And I'll speak up to the Trans-Canada Trail specifically. I know it's not a road, but
Thank you,
it's
thank you,
important.
thank you.
A crazy amount of money gets spent on that across Canada. And it's an important
Yeah.
concept.
Washed up a little bit.
Whether the money is valued, I don't know.
We were looking at a couple of things on that
So I
trail.
was just thinking it was on Road 90, because I know there was a spot there that they washed.
Yes. Yes, when you look at big pictures, like Ernie and I were discussing, maybe, where if we go with the engineering design and they, it's built that way, and if something happens in the future, then it's not our baby.
Exactly. You're using their stamp.
Yeah.
Their
You
knowledge.
make good.
Yeah, and if we go ahead and say, no, we don't want to put in a $100,000 crossing and decide to do a $20,000 crossing and wash it out next time, of course, then we just spent $20,000 3 times over.
Yeah.
That's the bad part. That's really, it's
Yeah.
not our money in the long term.
Will they
So-
guarantee the work, right, so to speak, that's. if you-
Well, we're guaranteed it's going to be fixed according to the engineering drawing, and if something happens to go in the future, we can wash our hands clean of it.
The government approves of what they're doing.
And if the government's paying for it, so I know it's a lot of money for the trail. I don't disagree with Robert's statement, but it's really not the ratepayers' money going
Not
forward.
our rate, not our rate.
But we're not, but we don't own the trail.
No,
The trail belongs to
yeah,
the
Canada.
Yeah.
Crown.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So I don't know why we'd be concerned about
yeah.
somebody getting after us because we didn't put a culvert in right or whatever.
Well, that's just like all the other, like Glen William Erickson, it goes up that way, they took care of those spots there too, like they went through DFA for theirs. That's why we went through DFA with
Yeah.
ours, you know, like same thing, is all the way along, all that flood.
Taxpayers' money.
Yeah, it's a well-used trail, that's the problem. It's a
And I-
well-used trail.
I think there's multiple options. I was just skimming the reports yesterday, so there are like put a box culvert in, do this, do that. So I think we just need to decide what we want to do there and then do that. Just so council is aware, so my priorities right now are trying to do the closest deadline items first. So we have some grants that need their closing paperwork or the funds are gonna disappear. One of them is that sandbagging, unit, so I'm pulling the information on that. There's also an assessment management grant that I'm pulling the information on. We have some, the Lake Sustainable Community grants that need their final information, and then ICIP also, I did some grant work with her this week as well. So I'm trying to pull all the documents associated to those and close those off so we get paid for those. And then budget, and of course, day-to-day operations is, making sure you guys get your invoices and all that sort of stuff. Those are my main priorities. DFI will fall after budget. So once budget is complete, and I'm going to be asking today from you guys on like a deadline, because I do much better with deadlines. So then I can just put my head down and do the work, and then we can review it and then have the public hearing and then go. And not tomorrow, tomorrow's not the deadline.
Someday then.
So what would simplify this DFA sites going forward for you, Melissa? What's your suggestions or ideas?
It's gonna be work for anybody. Somebody's gotta take the time to get up to speed, and that's gonna be, so we don't have the resources in the office to assign it to anybody other than me. And Kevin is also quite busy as well, so he's gonna need to take the time, or I'm gonna need to take the time to actually sit down and make the plan and populate all the information, understand what gravel do we need, what clay do we need, what equipment do we need. Can we do it ourselves, which I think we already know, some we can and some we can't, so those tenders just need to be written. And then Public Works, I was asking Kevin actually during our one-on-one this week, these sites are communicated to you. Do you want them in Word worksheets? Which I think that's the method that we'll document it in a sheet, then he can give it to the guys and then they can figure out, okay, it's complete, and then give the information back to me. And then we can charge it back to DFA.
So then do we need to have some outside help or something different to make this DFA thing happen? Outside of administration office and our public performer?
We could ask Way to Go if they're willing, but I think they're also pretty busy. Like everybody is
Busy.
maxed, especially this time of year.
Is there any way we can help?
Possibly.
And I would say that this is, because this isn't municipal administration specific, so the Way to Go consulting is worth their money for municipal act stuff, but this is project management. There are lots of good project managers that can be hired to do this kind of work.
The biggest
that are
help
local.
would be writing the tenders, because there's 10 tenders to write, so going through the actual engineering Stantec information, creating the tender, and then us understanding what that tender entails, and then getting the folks organized.
And if you get a very expensive company, then it's gonna be come out of our pocket, because you won't be able to recover that.
No,
Yeah.
Management.
this management fees, part of this should be recoverable, I would think.
I don't think so.
Don't think so. I would have to look into it, but even like our own guys, their regular wages are not recoverable.
Okay,
Yeah.
Overtime, I think, is, but regular wages not, just.
so
limits.
consultants like engineers are recoverable, but
Yes.
consultants like project managers are not.
I don't think my time is even recoverable. I would have to look into it though.
I agree to that, yeah, that's the way I read into it.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look and ask some questions.
So could I suggest that because Dave has done a bunch of labor before Kevin started on, that we could ask him to help you?
He could help, but I think we need to get somebody to write the tenders.
Yeah, we need to have someone that'll write
Yeah, I don't
tenders.
Somebody needs to write the tenders.
Okay. But that's just a suggestion, because I know he's got a folder full of stuff that he started.
He
And
doesn't
maybe he
want
doesn't
to-
want the work, and that's
doesn't
fair,
want
but I
to-
mean, just because he's already done some of the legwork, and he's worked with you already, so, and especially on this, because I'd like to see it finished in 24, if we can. I mean,
If we can.
The doable stuff in 24, because it's,
Well, that idea you said, whoever tackled that spot, if we could get them back to
finish the spot.
repair that spot the way it's supposed to be, not just the fix.
So is this,
It might be easier.
Speeds the process, that's what
Yeah.
it does.
this spreadsheet is all of the sites we have to do?
Yes. So you can see all of the grade items are either canceled, they're all canceled, so those ones are not in the mix.
Okay.
And then repair complete, there's a bunch of sites that repairs are complete on those as well. So we just need to go through, I can sort this spreadsheet so that's why I like things in spreadsheets, because then you can sort out the irrelevant information and then see which ones, how many we actually have left that are not complete.
Well, somebody should check the complete sites on here to be that they're complete, because like,
Yes.
I mean, we all know the site one is not complete, but I mean, maybe there's other sites that are 85%, but not 100% complete too, and they put it down as complete for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Is there a way that we can break them up into wards?
Yes. Yeah.
Because
Just
then
like
this
in
way
that
I can
time.
really go check and see if mine are, I know there's some that aren't done, but I know there's some that are done.
Yesterday, I spent the time populating based on the sheets that were submitted to DFA, the actual locations, and getting that here, so we know what we're talking about, and where we're talking about, because I don't know where site 10 is. So it's much easier for me to, okay, site 10, this is where we're going, to see what the heck is going on there. But wards will be next.
Because I know there was one, well, just coming out of mine, there's just one on 90 there by Salter's place that was just throwing pit run in there, but
Mhm.
it needs to be taken out and clay put in, then
Yes.
built where it's supposed to be, but it was just, we gotta get the road open because there's no access.
And some of the
So-
paperwork says it was a temporary fix, and some
Yeah.
says it was a permanent fix.
So we all need to go to our wards and ground truth everything and report back to you for your spreadsheet.
Likely.
Okay.
Just, and things might have been damaged even since
Well,
22, right?
yeah, because at one, I think that hole was bad, and now since they haven't been finished repairing, it's gotten worse, because it washes every year first, that's what it is. So yes, I think that's a good idea.
I just want to counterpoint the one thing that you said, and that's like, how Dave's got the bundle of information there. But I think that the tenders I think that has to be an administrative CAO thing, and that we shouldn't be touching.
Well, no, I
we
agree
shouldn't
with
have
that,
anywhere
yeah.
close to tenders.
No, I agree with that, because it's, but just the information that Dave can gather, because he's probably there. If I look at the size of that folder, he's probably there.
If you give me the list of mine, I can definitely run around and check all of them for you and give you info on every one of them. Like, I don't have a problem there.
Yeah, I just need to put another column in here and then we can separate it by words.
Because I think I have time as well.
I drove around, looked at all of them when we all went out.
I think I only got 2 or 3, so I can easily do that. So.
Yeah. There is a bunch of information in the file, but it's all in individual papers. So I would like to combine it so you can actually see the whole picture of what we're trying to accomplish.
It's 5:02. Did you want to break for lunch before we go into this beaver thing?
Yeah, we might as well, because we're not, unless we're staying right through.
I don't know. There's still quite a bit to go, is there not?
Yeah, I agree. We should go and have lunch and.
Okay. And we'll come back and finish her
That's
up.
my job, you guys.
I am
One job, 8-year-old.
Yeah, good one job, and then Robert sold it from me.
Sorry, Earl.
Well, I can hear it rumbling, but I thought it was an earthquake or somebody here's hitting her hand.
Then we now adjourn the meeting at
11:52.
11:55. Let's break them. Do I have a mover?
Sure.
I'm not moving on because I've got.
Because you lost your
I
thunder.
lost my thunder, yeah.
All in favor? Carried. Meeting at.
I guess it's the same hour, isn't it?
Yeah. Moved by.
I will.
Second. All in favor? Carried. All right.
I just want to go back to that DFA sites thing just for a quick second if we can. I know there's a lot of conversations made, and Earl made a comment about if we need a project manager, yes, if council writes me or wishes that to be done, or Melissa needs help, I could help out, I guess, put it that way. If that's okay with everybody, and if not, I'm okay with that too, whatever you guys think, so. And I think actually, just a suggestion, to add to that, if you're gonna have a project manager, they should actually go with each council member to that respective ward and visit those sites to collect more data and information.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So that was just a thought approach, so I'll leave it at that.
That's
You
how it
guys-
used to be.
Okay, I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Whatever you guys think.
Or otherwise, no sense
Yeah.
us being here.
No,
That's it.
I agree with that statement.
Yeah.
I think I'm okay with that. So.
So, I guess that depends if Melissa wants that help or not to help, or your thought. I don't know, just suggestions.
And I just think that it's more of a, in my understanding anyway, is that like the appoint a subcommittee, even if it's a subcommittee of one. But isn't that something that the REIT is supposed to do as opposed to the CAO, is to appoint councilors to committees so that they can assist in these kinds of things? Or is it a one-on-one or on an as-needed basis where the CEO can request assistance? But it just seems like it's like we're bypassing the REIT for some of this stuff when we shouldn't be bypassing. And again, that's just process, not finished product, right?
Okay, subcommittee Dave.
Yeah, that's kind of the same result. Right? Just
I'm just saying, that's all it is.
No, I know.
Whatever.
Yeah, I know I get what Jeff's going to, but I mean, this is a problem. We're gonna help Melissa, we're gonna get this done, and whichever way we can get it done, let's get it done.
Yeah, that's the thought process behind
You
it.
know, because I'm like Earl, I'd like to see this all wrapped up in 24.
Oh, big time.
And you know, that would put a big feather in a lot of our hats, because our ratepayers would be really happy about seeing these sites getting finally something done with them.
Finished off, yeah.
They have to be completed because I think our extension date is the end of August.
Well, that's the thing too.
So we need to get the ball rolling
We have no choice.
sooner
I've
than
got a
later.
site, we never really got fixed. Because it happened about this time, but it didn't
Okay.
qualify. That bridge by Keith Jury's,
Oh, yeah.
and we've never gone back to it. I had Watershed look at it, and I had what's her name?
Ingrid.
Ingrid came and looked at it, and I spoke to it at the council here that they had no concerns, just to slow it more, but we gotta come up with a plan.
Okay.
As far as, what they recommended was some bigger rock to put in there, and.
Oh, yeah, I think I remember. You said there was a rock pile not far though, was
Oh,
there?
but I lost that rock pile. They moved it and put it in the.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, Braves moved all that rock.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
What's going on?
And put it in, well, the cricket farm, you know,
Mhm.
on the, have you seen where they put the rock?
No.
Oh, they hold a pile of rock.
Straight north of that Mennonite school, right?
Straight north of where the well house is.
Oh, okay.
Where the big culvert, yeah,
Oh, really?
and they hauled a ton more rock from another place
Oh, really?
to stabilize that. So you can get through the tractor, juries get through there because they got cattle across the
Mhm.
creek and stuff. But we gotta come up with a plan. I know it was a big bridge, and you know what a bridge costs, $1 million
Yeah, I
plus.
don't know. Yeah.
We're not looking at a bridge, but
Just a low-level crossing with some bigger stone and.
yeah,
Yeah.
make a little better job. We had to kind of do it in a hurry because the grain truck fell through the bridge.
Right.
That's what started the process.
Oh.
So, and that was at the time when all this other stuff happened, but this didn't qualify for,
For the flood relief.
no.
Because of the age of the bridge probably or something.
There's a report on that bridge though.
Okay.
I can't remember the engineering of it. Was it Stantec?
Or Pier.
Santa.
Santa did it?
Stantec? Yeah, there's a report on that bridge.
Okay,
Do you remember that, Ernie?
Yeah, I remember that one, yeah.
I'll take a look through
Before
the
you-
files.
Yeah. Well, and that's one we lump in with trying to get this all.
We'll
Yeah,
take a look
Dave.
through the files, see what we can find.
Thanks, Earl.
Well, and the reason I suggested, because I know you were doing notes before, and there's no sense Kevin or any of us starting cold, and then it slows the process down again, so.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, so. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Okay. Beaver bounty.
Oh, here we go.
I'll add my 2 cents first. We brought this up at the Mayor and Ruth thing, and Harrison Park, Clown William, Erickson, us, all the municipalities west around the park are having the same issues. Beavers are coming out of the park. They're plugging up the roads, so it's been suggested that they are going to submit a resolution to the province of Manitoba, which I forget who's writing it up, but we'll get to see it, and then we're gonna have it at our next meeting up there, wherever, I can't remember where the next meeting is. We're gonna review it, bring it down to council, get a letter of support, and we're gonna send it to the Minister of
Beavers.
Northern Relations?
Conservation.
Conservation, I think it is. I think it is, yeah, Conservation, and they're gonna CC AMM. And they're gonna, what they've discussed about it is that because the beaver's in the park, it's a federal animal. As soon as it comes out of the park, they wanna make it a provincial animal. And then when it comes to an RM, well, it's an RM animal. So they're looking to see if we can get funding from the federal government. Because if you're gonna protect them in the park, then you should be looking after them too a little
Put little
bit.
fences up.
Well, whatever, it's just, you know, or a little bit of funding to help. Because they, like, Ian said they have a guy that's 83, I think, years old, still trapping beavers, but he doesn't want to do it anymore. And they can't find people to do it.
We used to have 2 or 3 guys that were pretty good at it.
Yeah.
Keep our beavers down,
But then he said at $50 a bounty, it's not enough anymore.
Really?
That's what he said.
Holy moly.
Well, the old guy said the pelts aren't worth nothing.
There used to be a program. There used to be a
It
program,
was
it
years ago,
expired
yeah.
March 2023.
Oh, yeah. Yes, it did.
So it's up by the tail.
But it was only $40 a beaver though, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think that we paid a portion and then the province
Yeah.
paid a portion and we submitted to get the provincial portion back.
Yeah.
It wasn't very much. I thought it was only $15 actually.
So anyways,
15
that's,
for Ryan, 15
and we put 10 with it.
I think it was
And
$15. They
municipality
did
put
15 and we
$10
did
with
15 or something like that,
oh,
yeah.
okay.
Because Ryan used to do all the stuff in my ward.
Ah.
He'd do everything in there.
We did have somebody come in, I'll have to look back through my notes to see who it was, to ask about are we hiring somebody to do something with beavers? So
Yeah.
maybe we should, I don't,
Well, it's a good idea if that's what we're doing, because the money's coming from the right place. It is a federal leader.
Well, in this, just that that's what
Yeah.
everybody's saying, is that the feds should be putting some money into this, so at least they can raise the bounty, like.
But we pay a levy to our watershed, we talked about that earlier, and then part of the watershed money goes into destroying beaver dams and ruining
Right.
beavers, and so there's lots of our own money involved in that after the fact.
So this is not gonna be a short-term solution, it's gonna take some time.
It's gonna take some
It'll take a year probably, to be honest, but good idea.
They're great at it.
And-
Start somewhere.
Exactly.
You had something, Jeff, about
We need
beavers?
something started. Oh, you want the voice of dissent?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Well, you wanted on the agenda, so I figured this.
We're spending hundreds of millions of dollars to manage the outflow of water from places like this into Lake Winnipeg, because we don't want to flood out cabin owners, we don't want to impact the whitefish fishery across lake, and we don't want to destroy any more of the commercial fishery on the Winnipeg River. So there's all that kind of stuff that's happening, and it's connected, right? There's 4 million acre feet of beaver flood ponds in Riding Mountain, and it's going to become important over the next 30, 40 years. The glacier that we rely on for Manitoba Hydro is running out, and that's a gigantic battery that's slowly being depleted. And then we have a Lake Winnipeg battery that's subject to extreme fluctuation, so we have to spill water sometimes. And it's the flushes of water, and it's the same amount of water in a shorter period of time means we have to have bigger drains, more capacity, more spillage, more waste. And I just want to remind everybody that all of these waterways are, they're the same volume. They haven't changed, and the beavers used to help slow the water down. So we're spending hundreds of millions of dollars because we're not letting beavers build dams. There's a huge cost, and it's the cumulative effect of all of those beavers building all of those dams. And the farmers get flooded out. That farmland, it's way more cost effective to pay money to farmers that are affected than it is to kill beavers. It's just, everybody's happier that way, and it'll actually work out less. And I just want to remind everybody that there's millions of acre feet of water being ponded, and we need it. That's the end of my story.
As long as they're not cutting your trees down, that's the problem.
It's such a thing, right? Like, someone else's trees are fair game, but when I'm going down, like right now in my little creek, right? There's 30 trees that have come down that hurt my feelings. But the 30 evergreens over here hurt my feelings too. But it's a tough one, and I completely
Usually
understand.
animals build the dam in the most inappropriate spot. That's what caused the issue.
Anything that destroys infrastructure or damages infrastructure, obviously, but it's the stuff like where you can leave them, you leave them.
Leave them alone.
It's way more cost effective to have a beaver build a dam than it is to have the watershed spend $200,000 recreating the work of 4 beavers over a season.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, right? We don't have a whole lot of, like Kevin was saying, we'll do this on this stretch, we'll do this over here, and it's the same idea. It's like, I'm not reflexively anti-beaver. I think that you only kill the ones you have to. Right?
Yeah, some controls, for sure, yeah. No, that's, yeah.
And I just think all of that research that does, because there's a couple of PhD students that were up and Riding Mountain the last few years, they did a lot of work, and they were trying to illustrate the importance of, you've got a lot of water here. And the Duck Mountains has it, so does the Porcupines, the Pasqua, but there's hardly any further south. But that whole Manitoba escarpment contains a lot of water, and that's going to be an asset. It's not now, nobody cares now, but it's going to be. Now I'm done.
All right.
so are we wanting to set up some sort of bounty type system in the interim? Or, I know last year Dave did a lot of work getting rid of beavers on some of the properties and out of culverts and such.
I think yes, is the answer.
Yeah, I guess, and let's see what happens with this AMM thing right to whatever, probably not.
Or at
much,
least we could put a motion to support that.
To support it,
That makes
yeah.
any
Well,
sense.
they will want a letter of support from every
So
municipality.
let's do that first.
And I think my suggestion is first of May, when you can actually get a permit for a kill permit for the ORM, we should get one and have it on hand if we need it.
If we need it.
For this year.
Yeah.
And
And
yes,
those, maybe the
only-
government will come up.
and get rid of the ones that are causing a problem. If the ones that are in a valley that's not causing a problem,
Leave them all. Yeah, I
Exactly.
agree with that.
I agree.
Jake. On that.
yeah,
Whether it's mower or whatever. you
yeah,
got.
yeah.
So we're gonna just resolve that we're gonna apply for a kill permit? Or does it have to go to an individual?
It has to be certain individuals on there, yeah.
We better watch out in the word that, because you already had one guy come in and ask about it, so
Yeah.
we can't elect you to do it and then.
No, I know what you're getting at.
It
No.
has to be out, so everybody.
First,
gets a
first,
chance.
we are first.
I
yeah.
said, therefore be it resolved that the RM apply for a kill permit.
Yeah.
But tagging on to that is actually getting a request for interest for people that want to do the.
Yeah.
You can't close it down to one person and people find out, taxpayers will be upset.
You can put, there's up to, last year's
Yeah.
kill permit, you can put six names on there.
Yeah.
So I
Oh,
guess.
good, all y'all.
Oh, y'all.
All y'all.
Oh,
You let me.
You write that down there.
All y'all.
So we can, I guess we can get the kill permit, we can add names
Yeah.
once we get the permit.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we could also resolve that we're gonna look into paying them allocating.
Yeah.
We could look into that, because we could table this as well, if we just want to apply it now and then.
So
Yeah.
Put it
when
next month.
May first comes, we will get the permit and we have it. If somebody phones, we can
And
act
we-
accordingly.
Yeah.
I guess the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Oh, because I know like Vauxhall used to do my $40 a beaver and that was it.
Yeah.
If you made 10 trips there, you made 10
We
trips,
just,
you got $40.
yeah.
Yeah.
$40.
And you weren't making money on it.
No, it wasn't a moneymaker, but he enjoyed the,
It was just. you know,
Something to do.
yeah, him and his son would go out and go a couple a year in there or whatever,
Yeah.
just to take down the population, just slowly.
And I didn't think we had a bunch of issues out there this year. Last year we had a number of them. But I think,
What's
I know there's one, and
Beaver's
that's
cause.
Oh, God.
where we were dealing with them last year. They're still in there. So,
But he maybe not be a pest.
you do.
Maybe he lost all his brothers and sisters, maybe.
I did
This is
send
the
him-
revenge bill, man.
I did send him an email too.
Yeah, I know a couple of guys, you better not go on their property and touch the beaver dams, they like them.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Water back,
Well, it's- yeah, it's good for cattle drinking and all kinds of stuff. You get the right
Exactly.
places, yeah.
Yeah.
We just react on requests.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they're messing up some of our culverts or bridges and
Yeah.
whatever, I can understand, but just because they're there,
Yeah.
doesn't mean you have to take them out.
Take them out. Whereas beaver caused damage in the RM, therefore be it resolved that the RM will apply for a kill permit. Do I have a mover? Second, Cross. All in favor? Next, clay options for purchase.
And did you find one?
I have discussed this morning with one of our contacts, they do have clay, we just need to understand what quantity is. So I'm assuming you're referring to the landfill?
Yes.
Yeah, so I just need to provide, see if he's got the grade of clay that we require.
Did you get did you get an overwhelming response of people that wanted to have their clay examined, or were you just able to find?
I didn't send out to the whole wide world,
Yeah. Because you put it on Mercs, I thought.
no.
Okay.
It's for compatibility for landfill, correct?
Yeah.
Sure, Jay, okay.
Yeah, because I misunderstood it. That's why I put it on there, because I thought we had put it on Mercs, so.
No, we can tender clay, once we understand the portion that we're gonna require. The last meeting, we had discussed not going forward with testing our clay further. So we had done all the
Right.
test sites at Elk Ranch, and then the last meeting was, no more testing, we'll just purchase.
Take testing out.
Yes, but that's, okay, so then we decided to purchase, which is why I thought we were putting it on Mercs.
Oh, there was also a discussion about testing at Fisher as well, Fisher Pit.
Way there.
So I'm not sure if council wants
Well,
to test.
I don't know what it is, but testing.
so freaking expensive, eh?
What?
The
The
test.
testing.
Oh, testing.
Yeah. But if it's on the property in Fisher Pit, then it's, the clay is free, I guess.
Free in a sense, yeah,
Depends.
exactly, yeah.
But the test is.
What's the
what
per
was it?
test cost?
Well, last time we did 6 holes and it was $5,000. And that's not the actual test, that's
Yeah.
preliminary testing to decide if we should do the more expensive test, which I think is about $1,800
Per test?
per test.
Holy.
Wow. Yeah.
Is that the only spot we can test? Or is that like Mandel, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mandel is who we had hired
I'm
last.
sure there's an outfit in a greater way in that direction. It's a lot cheaper, I believe.
Well, I know Mandel, Birds Mandel, and then ECS, Environmental Consulting Solutions,
Mm-hmm.
the pens that Jeff brought us. So I'm not sure if they do as well, and then there's somewhere in McCurry, is that what you said?
Yeah, in a greater
McGregor.
area, it is all that direction, so I can find out, but I don't know offhand.
Good to have a comparison, or
Yeah.
competition.
All right, training operators. Training operators in water treatment.
And I had asked for that one too, but I was just, because we're going into this whole budget thing, I wanted to allocate a substantial budget towards training for operators. So you can bring in consultants or whatever, but just allocate the budget and then the CAO and the public works foreman spend it as they figure is the most efficient way to do it. But just that way, we can allocate $5,000, $10,000. I don't know what the right number is, but because I don't know what this kind of stuff costs. And the same thing with having a little bit of redundancy for water treatment certifications, because I think we're pretty brittle right now. I don't think we're very resilient on that, right? Because I think we only still have one person. Yeah, so it just seems to me that if we're gonna reimburse Melissa for taking her courses, we should also be bringing in consultants, bringing in training officers on site, and just not trying to micromanage that, but just say, here's $10,000 for you to spend. That's why I wanted that put on there. I just wanted that kind of put into the budget mix if it's possible.
Yeah, so in regards to training heavy duty equipment operators, I've reached out, Kevin and I have already been in discussion in regards to that point. So I did reach out, that's the advantage of having Kevin join the team, he can do some of the research for me, so it's not solely on my plate. So he's able to send me the contact information, so we did reach out to them, and there's actually a message on my desk to call them back this morning. And then in regards to water treatment operators, those folks, the folks that we currently have are contractors, so they would be responsible for making sure their training is up to date. But we do have one heavy duty equipment operator that does have some previous experience in water treatment and has some previous tickets. So we could get him trained in the small systems water treatment training, the same thing that we have in the Kelwood operator that contracts for us. So that if need be, he could cover, if she needed a week off or what have you, he could have his small systems training. I can look in to see how much that costs. I don't think it's actually that crazy of an amount. It's just the travel and staying overnight in Winnipeg. I think that would be required. Yeah.
Did you ever reach out to that guy in Mendoza there for the?
There was actually no contact information on the document that
Oh, wasn't it?
provided. And I
I
meant
got
to reach
numbers
out
for
to you. Yeah, that would be good.
Sorry, I thought it was on there.
And then I
My
can-
mistake.
Price and everything on there, remember that?
Yeah. I thought it was numbered.
So we could reach out to him for
Yeah.
sure as well. And then at least we'd have 2 quotes
He's good to talk to.
to decide. And
Really good to talk to.
a gentleman did come in, actually, he had been an operator. He was just coming in to ask about Leisure Lotto, actually. So he had come in and he'd been a previous equipment operator and he's retired from that too. So I did get his contact information too to see if he's interested in anything like that. So it's on the radar. I
Okay.
can't remember the gentleman's name.
Henry.
We'll call him Henry. Yes. So yes, I agree, and I think Kevin agrees as well, that we need someone on site with the operators, and sending folks to a classroom style training for operating is not what our operators need. They need basically feedback on how they're operating today, because they are operating today.
Yeah, I got a number for you, Melissa.
Okay.
It's 867-7435.
Okay.
His name's Bob. He's about 70 years old, and he's been running equipment since he was 15. That's all he does. He was over in Labrador teaching the guys how to run sweep equipment. And he went to Labrador for a week to teach them how to run sweep equipment. He'll train on it.
All right.
Okay, RM strategy plan funding.
This was the other one that I wanted to get in before it was too late, is that, again, part of the budget, I wanted to have, I think the RM needs a strategic plan. Like it's in our council handbook, because I sat through that webinar, so I figured I may as well pay attention. So, and it was strategic plan, and part of the strategic plan is your financial plan, and then you make sure that all of your annual budgets are, tied into that. Because my new favorite phrase is, if you're looking down at your feet, you don't know if you're walking in a straight line. And the same thing with canoeing, like you look at the far shoreline, and I'm sure farming's the same way. You don't look at your steering wheel, you look out, right? And I don't think that we're doing that right now because of all of the topsy-turviness. And I have a whole lot of strong opinions, but I think that if we did a real strategy document, then I could put a bunch of them away and stop wasting council time, which might be an incentive for everybody else. I might stop talking. But there's money available for it. Yeah. Like under the Building Sustainable Communities program, and I don't know this, I think that there's funding available for people like us to do strategic plans. And I think there is.
I don't know.
That? Okay.
Building sustainable communities is problematic because they only provide 50% of the funding.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think your strategic plan is going to cost 50 grand, they're only going to give you 25. So council would have to come up with another avenue to fund that additional 25.
And I would like council to put some money into a budget to do a strategic plan. And if there isn't enough money, I will volunteer to do some of the work. But it's better to hire somebody that can just take it over. But I will do it as a volunteer, just to get it done. Kind of the same way Dave was willing to do the estimate stuff. Because it bothers me enough that we don't have one, that I'm willing to put a lot of time into getting one. But the problem is that because I'm opinionated and on council, if I do it, there's a slight chance it might be slanted towards what I want.
You're honest when you do that.
And I would try hard not to, but there's no way, so that's why. And Melissa doesn't have time.
But it's not up to me to make the council strategic plan.
Right.
You guys need to come up with what you want to do.
Yeah, but to not make it, facilitate the making of it.
I know some other RMs have them right on their website. There's actual strategitic plan.
Yeah,
So
because a lot of it
we
is
could
just
take a
cut and
look.
paste. Like but at least if you had a 10-year, for example, like a 10-year public works plan for graveling roads, and that's all part of your strategic plan, right? This is what we're going to be spending in 2035, or this is what we need to do. We have to do 10 miles of this in 2027, and that way the public works foreman has to put his part in, and the CEO has to put their part in, and then everybody has to say, okay, this is everything I can think of in my ward, and then it gets slotted in by somebody that's controlling the RM, and then we can start getting a bit more handle on how much money is going to the Kelwood Arena, who's going to own it, who's going to finish it, are we going to have 8 halls? Like, are we really going to pay the utilities on halls that are underutilized? Are we like, if we're spending tens of thousands of dollars on maintaining poorly utilized facilities, do we start surgically cutting some of them, or do we just do it? And I don't think there's a right answer, but there has to be a definitive answer based on this is what we all came together and decided. And a lot of it is just survey work, right? Like it's like you put out like every week there's a survey. What are your priorities on this? What do you think? Strongly agree, strongly disagree kind of stuff. And that way you can kind of get a feel for everyone in isolation. And then it gets amalgamated with names. But instead of it being group work, it's individuals thinking, so this is what I really believe. And then you synthesize that down into, okay, so then the RM thinks that too. And you revisit it every year. Like you're not stuck with it. Like I'm not saying that 20 years from now, whatever we decided today is what happens. But because it's a living document. But at least I think that way, at least it's people that, like you, have been here forever. And Robert, like you can put all that past experience into something, and guide somebody 15 years from now based on your experience today. So it's important to me. I don't know if it's important to anybody else.
It's important to me to have a direction from council, because right now we don't have a strategic plan on where I should focus. We're just focusing on keeping the wheels on the bus. So things like the landfill, for example, what are we doing in 5 years when we don't have a landfill anymore because it's full? The transfer stations, what are we doing? The bridges, what are we doing? Because funds need to go towards those things to maintain them. So asset management, I think, should be part of the strategic plan. Then are we going to do any economic development parts? That should be part. So I think it would be in buckets. And then these are the 5 things we're focusing on instead of 100 things as they come up or as somebody complains.
Well,
So then you guys know where you're going.
I don't disagree with that. And Jeff made a very good statement, since there's a lot of turmoil and topsy-turviness. We're trying to get out from underneath and keep the wheels of the bus. So nobody even thought about that or even focused on it. And it's not in our, it's back in our mind, but way back there, if you want to call it. So, but it's not a bad idea.
It's no different than a business plan.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just like running a business.
Yeah.
Things are aging fast,
Yes.
Yes.
and that's the problem. We're gonna have a problem as they age more.
Yeah.
Like fire trucks.
I agree with you, Don. Don't get me wrong, Bill. I do agree, no doubt about that. I've worked every time I can.
Slid that one in pretty slick, I'll tell you.
Keep my eyes open for a fire truck.
We found one.
He found one. He
See,
already did.
with Jeff's plan, strategic plan, that would have already been in the plan.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's, so I agree with that, definitely in principle, because the plan needs to be in place, because you can't buy, in our gravel or graders or fire trucks or anything, bridges, in 1 minute. You gotta come up 5 years in advance or 10 years in advance of.
You can always look at your plan and go, gee, they were right on, or, oh man, we're a little behind
Yeah.
our plan, you know, you got something to look at, you know.
'Cause-
A goal that's set for it.
Yeah, that's, I know that's happened to us. I mean,
Yeah.
this council and my ratepayers know that the fire truck has been an issue, not a bad one, just
Yeah.
we're dropping the ball on the long-term plan. If we do the short-term, no, then we don't have money after the long-term, so I agree with the plan too. Sorry, Dave.
So add consulting fees for some sort of strategic planning.
And based on what you were saying today, I don't think you have time to apply for another grant. So, like,
Well, I just need to close the ones off that we already have and get the money.
right. So, and I'm willing to do the work to apply for a grant if you want me to. Otherwise, I'll let it drop.
Well, it'd be interesting to know the details of the grant. If we're paying 50%, then it's whatever it is, and if they're gonna, there's money for free, say, or 10%, then it's more, but it'd be good to get some information on the grants available, potentially, if that's doable.
And right now, I just have the summary of it. I haven't called anybody. But the one thing that I wanted to point out too, the best thing that I took away from the convention was the one fellow from ResCan, Rural Economics.
Economic development section. is what
Yeah, thank you. Oh, do you? Okay.
I brought it, because I knew I wasn't gonna remember names, but yeah, he was pretty good that day.
He was quite good. The Center for Rural Economic Development. And a fellow's name was Matthew Grills, who's a rural advisor. So he gave a pretty good presentation, but he's from the federal government. And he's basically, if you want to do something, call me. He said, call me early, call me often. He says, and I will help. He says, I will give you advice, I'll give you expertise, I'll come and help you. I'll get you in touch with the people that can fund you. I'll put you in touch with the people that can help you tailor your stuff so you can get funding. He says, so he'll work across all levels of government. He says he doesn't have funding, he just facilitates and tells you, this is what you're not realizing, or this is what you don't realize you're doing wrong, or this is where you should be looking. And I think it's a valuable resource, and he's willing to come and talk. He's also willing to help specifically if you, so for example, have one specific thing, he said, call me and I will help you. So it's a free staff position, although limited time.
From my experience, federal grants are better. There's more allocation and less on the RM side. And then I think building sustainable communities as well, there's a 10% non-municipal fund requirement, which I know they're trying to get rid of that because it's hard for RMs. So not only do they only give you 50%, we have to fund the rest with municipal funds plus 10% with non-municipal funds. So that could be donations or fundraising or what have you, which we don't have a lot of money like that
Can it
at our
be VLT
disposal.
funds?
No, because that's also money that's given to us, right? So we would have to do some sort of event, I think, probably to raise the money. For the Kelwood grants, we have a few BCS grants for that, but we got a lot of donations for the Kelwood break. So we're covered on those grants.
Okay.
So grant money is great, but there's also ties to the
Ties,
grant
okay.
money, yeah.
Okay. Well, unfinished business. Road agreement.
Has everybody reviewed the road agreement from North Cyprus? It's basically the one that we had sent over to them. And then it just got the addition, all additional boundary road work, which would be considered above the regular maintenance, would be 50-50, of course, with a signed contract between both RMs. So just asking for Carl and I to have permission to sign and enter into the agreement with North Cyprus Langford.
Sure.
This is a little more simpler than the last one was, the previous one, right? Somewhat.
Yeah.
More
We just have,
going back and forth between graveling left, east, and west, or
Right.
something like that. This here is more, yeah, here's a boundary line. and that's it.
Straightforward,
Yeah,
You do this and we'll do that.
Yeah. So they're not gonna be billing us for extra mowing and everything else, correct?
yes.
Is that, yeah. So if it's, just simplifies it, I like it.
I would do. Pretty
So-
even, split it 6 months.
You
I
like
know
it?
they did invoice us for mowing, and Loveland included that in the invoices, which we don't have an agreement, and I did check our GPS and we didn't mow it. So we'll have to pay the invoice. Moving forward this year, we'll mow our portion. Yeah.
Okay, whereas the RM of North Cyprus Langford has presented a boundary road agreement for approval by the RM of Rosedale, and whereas council of the RM of Rosedale have received the agreement, therefore be it resolved that the council of the rural municipality of Rosedale agree that the Reeve and the CAO may sign the agreement. Do I have a mover? Seconder? Sure. All in favor? Carried. White Mud Watershed.
Those are just committee reports, so
Committee reports, yeah.
Information.
just for information. And then do you guys have any questions on the CAO report?
No, it was really good, I liked it.
So I'll try to keep the word worksheets up to date for you guys, so then when we go back, say to March or whatever, to finish those, I'll update that line and then I'll just keep adding the additional requests that are coming through. As they get complete, I'll just update the specific time frame.
Does anyone have any questions on all the reports?
Sorry, I'm bad at filling out my road.
Your ward work?
I'll
Well,
learn.
I do complete them and send them out to Kevin, so.
I'll learn. I just called you and tell you, I'm bad at not writing it out.
How was your mentor meetings?
Fantastic.
Good.
Yeah. I have very knowledgeable CAO that's been a CAO in multiple places for 20 years. So he's got lots, and he's got a lot of resources as well. So,
Because you spoke positively last time, so I just wanted, it's still going good.
yeah, he's got well, I just sent him an email this morning asking him about some financial movements and why that is. And he gets back to me quite quickly and has really good information to share, so that's good.
So a question for the CEO, then your budget needs to be done by middle of May, correct?
Yes, May 15th. So I think
We're gonna have a special meeting before that date.
Yes, we need to have a special meeting, so that's what I would like to ask of you guys, when you would like to have that special meeting. So would the week of April 22nd to 26th work? And then that'll give me next week to really focus and try to pull all the numbers together for you. So maybe like
Wednesday the 24th?
the 24th,
That's middle of the day.
April 24th?
Wasn't North Cypress Langford coming in for a meeting about water?
Yes, so I reached out to them to have a meeting with us, and it was supposed to be this week, but conference was this week, and they had a meeting also this week. Their council meeting fell on the second Tuesday of the month, or the second Monday of the month is when they have their meeting, so they were tied up this whole week. So that's why they just sent the agreement, because that's one of the issues we were gonna talk about. And then you guys wanted to talk about the water item, but I'm not sure if
So,
you actually
but
want to
right-
talk about the
Right now,
water item.
that meeting's off the table, though, so
Yes.
it's not gonna be conflicting with this one. Okay.
No.
So the boundary agreement was one of the items, so she just sent, I think she presented to council, I'm presenting to you. We'll sign, they'll sign, the agreement will be done, no need for a meeting. And then we're gonna leave the water situation up to their. So I don't know how the meeting was done last year, the special meeting, if you guys went through page by page by page, the 13 pages.
Pretty much.
Basically,
Okay.
yeah, basically close.
And then I don't know, we only have one packer on the grader, and we're gonna have 2 graders, so I have earmarked another packer into the CapEx expenses, just for everybody's awareness, because I don't know why we have one packer only, to me.
They're not always useful,
Oh, okay.
that's why.
They're not
Because
always-
when it's dry, don't even put it on the ground.
Oh, okay.
Because it's just like, you can't back flour.
So it's just like carrying dead weight around and it's
Yeah.
on there, and are they hard to get on and off, I'm assuming?
No.
I don't know how hard they are to keep on and off, but that's why we didn't get a second one. A lot of us said, no, what's
Okay.
the sense, you know, like,
Well, that's good to know, okay,
But
good.
right now, they should be running 2 backers and 2 graders this
Yeah.
year for sure.
And in the fall time, there's
And in
the
the fall?
back pass.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll leave it in and you guys
If
can fight about it.
Conditions are right.
Conditions, right?
Yeah.
it's so
Condition use.
condition use that it's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But it should be there. Both graders should be able to do both effectively.
Okay. And then there is gonna be some work to the second grader when it comes in
About
that needs to be
30,000.
done.
About-
Yes.
Kevin's gonna reach
before.
out to you on the hydraulics.
Okay.
It was 30.
And
Actually, I will get
Yeah,
a,
that's 3 years ago pricing.
I'll get it home next week, because I got those, more blades all straightened.
Oh,
sharpened.
perfect, yes. I forgot to tell
There's a
him.
couple of them that we can reutilize, so tons of money saved, probably about $600 we saved.
Okay.
I straightened them, sharpened them, and balanced them.
More blades.
Yeah.
Will they stay, you think? Will they straighten it?
Trust me, it took a lot to straighten them.
I know,
Yeah.
but at the
They'll
same
stay,
time-
they'll stay. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure they'll stay.
That spring steel, I don't know.
Yeah.
This is the DT.
Once it's bent
this-
once.
This is the
This is a
DT.
30-ton press, and I was using 25 tons to straighten it.
Well, I understand that, but I mean, once they bend once,
No.
they bring it back, you'll bring it back straight,
Yeah.
or will it stay straight?
Is it this DT, this is DT warranty?
Yeah. Taillight, it has taillight warranty.
Taillight warranty, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident I'm wrong, to be honest.
Well, even if.
And it didn't need a bunch of straightening. There's a couple that, forget it.
Yeah, yeah.
Beyond it, but generally speaking, it was pretty doable.
But even if a third of them don't stay straight, we've got 2
We
thirds gains.
still want it.
Yeah, one, yeah.
And maybe just one more thing, so we did apply for the Green Team grant, we haven't heard back, nobody's heard back if they've gotten the fund or they're getting the grant or not. I think I will post it, we need Green Team people regardless of the grant or not, so I'll post it next week in the paper, see who we can get. Because there are a lot of rocks that can be picked out of the ditches, and there's culverts as well that we can do some shovel work to get the gravel and stuff and get them opened up
Trees,
for next
trees.
spring.
Trees,
There's trees to cut, there's things like that prior to grass
season.
needing to be cut. And then of course, there's gonna be garbage and such to pick up at Kerrs Lake and Big Valley, so I'll post that. And then we've also discussed bringing the mower operator back as well, probably midway through May, early June, depending on what goes on with the grass. So we'll see, we'll watch the weather, I guess, and then just decide. I'm assuming he's coming back, so maybe I should actually touch base
Well,
with him
and
to
I
make
was just
sure
thinking
he's
that when
gonna
you said
come
that,
back.
just to confirm, if he's not coming back,
Yeah.
we have to have a guy for that job.
Yeah.
Or potential operator. Assuming he's coming back.
There was
Yeah.
or numerous comments made last meeting, Jeff made some comments on the public works department and the goodness that we want to call going forward. And I guess actually the biggest person we should have thanked about this is Melissa, because she brought on a team that's working for us, so thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, you're welcome. Makes it easier for me when the team actually does the work.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, knowing if they're eager to work, that's cool to watch, actually, yeah.
Kevin's been a welcome addition. He's been very helpful, even though sometimes he brings more work for me. It's good in the long run. It's better because he's done a lot of like work, like as you guys could see with the reclaimer discussion. He's thinking about things and trying to find a better
He's shown a
way.
very good initiative. Very
Yeah.
good initiative. So kudos to him.
Yeah, he's a very welcome addition. He's a great hire.
Okay.
Get me out of here.
I got, is that your adjournment?
No.
Okay.
Oh,
sorry.
committee reports.
Okay, sorry, I thought you were going, I was just, calm down, buddy, just calm down.
Resolved that the list of the correspondence being received as information, White Mud Watershed minutes, NAPD meeting minutes, RSTA meeting minutes, CAO's report for April 12th, 2024. Do I have a mover? Sure. Seconder?
Sure.
Turk. All in favor? Carried. Now we go to open discussion.
Don't everybody go first.
I'll go first. I got two little questions, both about water. Dora could ask about us cleaning out her ditch 3 years ago, we did nothing until now. Well, this year, I guess we're gonna do it. But anyway, she did ask me today, we know she knows there's a process, or understands, and she understands we're working on it. She was wondering if there was something we could do, like a Band-Aid, to get the water getting out of there, because the buildup in that, I guess creek it's called, has got the water trapped into her pasture, and without getting rid of some of the water, she can't use her pasture. She rents her pasture as income, so she's losing that. So she wondered if we could do something. She said, well, she suggested, a couple of hours or 3 hours of a hole in there to get the water to go where it belongs, at least, go down the stream until we can do a proper cleanup. So I guess that's an ask. And
That'd be a tendered project then?
well, I guess, or give somebody 3 hours permission to go in there and do something. I don't know what. It was bad. We walked in there, it'll be over 2 years ago now, and it's bad. It's level across the property for her, actually. The water's gonna keep down. It'll never stop there. And the watershed did some work on their part, but we own, I think Rosedale owns a quarter of a mile or 3/4 of a mile, whatever, it's through there, and our part is full. And the whole ditch cleanup would be a tender process, but she's looking for a spring runoff, or a spring access more cleanup, like it'll be, whatever it is, whatever that entails, I have no idea.
I think probably the best approach is to have Kevin meet out there to
Mhm.
see what actually needs to be done, and then he can come up and formulate the plan and the resources required
Okay.
to do the work, because it's like DFA, right? It's just one more thing that needs to be.
No, and I'm with that, because Dora would be glad to meet there again and show, and I would meet there too, but it'd be nice if we could do something to help alleviate until we can drain it, do it properly, because she loses her own income there, so.
And you would be willing to meet with Dora
Absolutely,
and Kevin?
yeah, because there was, Dora has all the documentation from 100 years ago, whatever it is,
I've seen that.
who owns what there, I didn't realize it was ours to start with, so.
And I think we have to start downstream and work our way.
Absolutely, we have to start where watershed
So-
left off, but she's asking, the way she described it to me over the phone was at the fence line, if we can open that up there so it would, I won't use the words, but.
Flow away?
Flow away, thank you very much. Thanks for that. Yeah, but it makes sense, because there's probably there's no culvert there, there's a bridge there,
Yeah.
but it's just blocked there so the water can't easily flow away, so it's not gonna solve it, but it'll help.
Yeah, I did have a conversation with Dora, and she was gonna bring paperwork
To
to
you?
me, but she hasn't brought it in, and I did find some information in the files that were just supposed to go down 12 inches.
Yes.
Across
The board
the
there.
whole.
Yeah,
the
and
whole
that would be a huge help, because it's level there now, so.
Mhm.
And the other one is Road 108. I think I called you about Public Works opening the trap on the
Yes.
culvert, and they did a
Yes.
great job, and they cleaned out a bit of snow away there. But we need to do something with that ditch If it's ours, I don't know, I got a watershed meeting on Monday, but if
Okay,
it's ours, I would like to do something, if you go about 300 yards east of the culvert, the ground actually goes like this. So there's no way that water's ever gonna drain off that guy's farm. There's a bit of snow holding it right now, which would mean we could maybe bust the snow and it would go away as a Band-Aid cure, but there's no way for the water to get away from there.
it's not able to actually. get
It's
to the
going,
track.
that's going uphill, going downhill, if that makes any sense at all. There's a grade in there.
Mhm.
And, I mean, it would take more than 5 minutes, but to clean the ditch out and then build some sort of a stone structure so it would slow the water down, so it doesn't roar down there, but so it would go down there. Because you don't want to just speed the water up, right?
That's on that correction road? Where the
Yes.
curve is?
Yes.
It's a hill.
Yeah, down below the big hill. The boys fixed a bit of a wash there from before, but this is just below that, and it's gonna be a problem into the future.
Sure.
So,
So we think it's on McCurry side, is that what?
no,
we're saying?
it's definitely Rosedale, but it might be Watershed, because Watershed has the right at the corner, because they did some work there last year or a year ago, but this is west of that, I'm not sure
Where their
where their boundary is, so, but I will be speaking to Cam or whatever at a meeting on Monday, so I can ask, but I wanted to bring it up here, because it's not something we're doing today.
Right.
It's something we should look at this year for next year, or whatever we can budget in. That's it. On the fire truck.
The only thing I got is, I wondered if you heard anything from highways about fixing that deck on the bridge in Eden and those big holes in the pavement. I asked a couple of months ago about contacting. Did you hear anything back, Melissa?
Out by, Penos?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, we had
Like
discussed
something's gotta
that.
be done, either that or we gotta do it,
Well,
because they're
generally,
like this and,
we have been doing it.
well, we haven't. Penrose did, fix some of them in front of their shop, and then he pushed a little bit of gravel in, but as soon as it rains, the water comes down there, people
Takes
drive
it
through
away.
it, and you got holes again.
Crushed rock. We
It-
fixed it, we
it-
patched the hole in Riding Mountain, the town of Riding Mountain with crushed rock. Just straight crushed rock. It's a little expensive, but my God, the hole's gone.
Yeah.
You would think it was.
Well, I was hoping they'd put some asphalt on
Yeah.
that deck of that bridge.
Yeah.
It's like running over a bunch of railway iron.
Yeah.
And while they're
Same
there,
river.
they could,
Yeah.
I think.
Low level crossing, hey Ernie?
they only must have spent $1 million on that bridge, I bet you, in the last
Oh, really?
6 or 8 years. They spent a month there in the winter, a few years ago, putting that nice rock that they hauled from, I think it came from Bertle, the guy told me.
Oh, really?
They brought it, and then they dumped it in Minnedosa, and then they picked it up and put it at Eden. Yeah, so they spent a lot of money on that bridge, if they would only fix the top.
Yeah.
So,
I
that's
think-
my complaint.
Because we had talked about 352 as well, the transportation folks coming out. Oh yeah, not you.
Okay?
For
Well,
352.
And the access to the
then-
Cowee too is the same, the pavement there is going
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
that place.
So when we had met with the infrastructure folks here, we had a meeting with
Right.
them. We had talked about all of those things, and I'm assuming nothing has made its way
That hasn't come back down from the top anyway yet. So.
He's,
in.
I know
So
that they've been asked for, I don't know how many years about fixing those holes.
we can write that down in writing instead of a verbal conversation, the 3 points. And
I think
then,
the suggestion was, we have a list of that information is to write the minister a letter and then CC.
AM two, right on, that was at the end.
Okay, well, let's.
that was at the other meeting.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, my bad.
And then
But you're right.
Let me start with
Then you take the
infrastructure and
guys off and
transportation
then-
first, before
Okay.
we start involving ministers.
No, AMM is our,
Yes.
our lobby group, right?
Yeah,
And
but if we have the AMM involved, because there's some more bang for your buck going on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of roads.
The only thing I got is, since you're going to your watershed meeting, that Road 101, brushing, we looked at that last fall
Oh, yeah.
with Herman there, so if you could mention that again between Road 86 and 85. I think the watershed could brush that out, that would sure help our snow trapping on that, or less snow trapping. But it'll, it's there and it backs up on the road, so it's just willows right in the creek, what he said it is. Pelican Creek is what it is.
Yep.
Thank you.
Well, I already gave one to Kevin, so he already knows about the one, and then, the other one is that I was telling the guys here, Ryan Smith called me about looking out by his yard there to see if he can do some ditching and if we were okay with it. So I said, well, we'd probably be okay, but I said we have to have a little chat with Ingrid. So Ingrid actually met me out there
Good.
and had a meeting with her, and she seen no problem with it. She said, all I need is 3 points, a 3-point survey. I said, which Ryan probably will do himself. And they need to locate for the telephone line. And Ryan said he'd do all the work and the permitting and everything to make that ditch proper. So the water, quit going out in the field and then back under his brook. So that's where it goes. It actually goes out in the field halfway out, comes back around, and right back to the ditch and under the driveway. So she had no issues with it, so I'm hoping council didn't have no problems with me talking to them. And if Ryan wants to do that work and make it proper.
Not gonna cost us anything if he wants to do it, as long as it's done right, or like I said too, maybe Kevin should just take a walk out there, see, make sure it's up to Rosedale standard. And
Yeah, oh yeah. No, and even if Kevin wants, he can call me and I'll meet him over there and I'll tell him exactly what they're in there and then he can look at it too.
Would it be the other landowners or residents have an issue with it in the area? That's the only question I have.
It's kind of dumping right into his own.
Go back into the
Okay,
same.
just asking.
Yeah, no,
That's all it
it's
is.
just,
Yeah, it's right into his same spot. It doesn't change.
Sure, up the hornet's nest, if you
Yeah.
want to call it, that's all that was.
It actually said that like, here's a road like this, it comes like this, goes like that, comes in under the driveway. And all it would be going is this way. Same water,
Same
nothing
water.
extra.
No.
no, it'll be nothing extra.
Yeah, no.
We're working
So,
on
and
it.
I said that I don't think the RM will have an issue, I just had to talk to Amy about it, so. And she didn't see no alarming things about it, she said.
Free is good.
Is Ingrid watershed or water service? Water service?
Anything not drinkable water,
Yeah.
get a hold of Ingrid.
Water stewardship.
I think they changed their titles again
With the name?
with the election. So I think it's a new name again.
It's not Adrian anymore?
You went
No,
to
no. He's still in
And you went to that breakout session thing, was there?
Yeah, and I can see it on a screen that I can't quite remember. It's because it's word salad at that point, right? It's just, you know, you're so smart. Go ahead, bring it up.
So yeah, that's all I had. Everything else seems to be good. I was gonna ask about graders now, but I got back home yesterday and holy gee, look at the graders, you're just a given. I don't need no boat graders anymore, they're already here.
Yeah.
Oh, they're doing what they can, that's good.
Oh, yeah, I know.
The climate change,
And she's in the drainage and water rights license.
And it's good, like, I can't complain. If only we could grab that much more, I'd be the happiest guy in the world. There's more lower lips.
Do you want me to read it?
Yeah, I would think
Okay,
so.
so as per Ernie's request, whereas Ryan Smith has requested to perform ditching, and whereas Ryan Smith will coordinate with water stewardship and obtain surveys and locates prior to performing the work, therefore be it resolved that the RM provide permission to Ryan Smith to perform the work.
Do I have a mover? Sure. Seconder? On the cross, all in favor?
Now you can hear.
I just had a few odds and ends jobs for the guys too, but I'm gonna grab a couple of worksheets and
Okay.
tell them I have really nothing. No. Once the grading is done, everything will be good.
Okay. Go.
Oh,
30 seconds.
I need more.
35 seconds.
Some of these questions that I have or comments are about the special meeting we're gonna have for the financial plan.
Okay.
Okay, so I have a problem with progressive versus regressive taxation, but I also recognize its importance sometimes. I don't know, so this is a question. I don't know if we're attributing enough costs of your time and staff time and whatnot to the utilities that are billed out to people that are on, like Eden and Calvert Waters. So I would like some assurance that all of your costs are being billed out appropriately as opposed to being absorbed by the RM in general. And then the other one is the same thing with the LUDs, like just to make sure that there's a good breakdown of like how costs should be apportioned when you're doing the LUD budget versus the RM budget. And then the other one is special service levies. I personally I despise special service levies, but I understand sometimes why they're necessary. And I was looking at the Westlake Gladstone property tax offices, and I didn't realize, so they have a special service levy for each grader, so that ratepayers paying on a per capita basis as opposed to on an assessed value. So instead of one guy paying a lion's share, everybody's paying it equal. So they have, I think one is like $28 a year, one is 29 and something. So I just wanted to bring that up in case it was a reasonable thing to do in the RM of Rosedale. The only problem with it is special services levy started coming out about 10 years ago, and I fought them at the time because some municipalities and some towns try to make sure that higher assessed value properties can get a discount, and lower assessed properties get paid more, because we don't have that flat tax in Manitoba. We start so low, lower assessed properties get too good a deal. So in order to do an end run around the entire taxation system, municipalities started doing too many special service levies. But some are okay, but you've got some that are just basically it's a per capita flat tax, and that's very regressive, and it's very harmful for lower income people. So I was hoping that you could maybe talk to one of your mentors and see if it's worthwhile as part of our financial plan here.
And so currently in regards to graders, they would be at large. So whatever the at large rate is what everybody be paying, and that's where grader fees would be paid.
And I'm just thinking going forward, or even if there's new purchases, whether they can be a special service levy or not, or whether there's a value to making some things special service and other things not. And that's a question, that's not a comment. And the same thing with the education taxes, because they flip-flop back and forth, because you guys were talking about it today. Like, I was hoping that you could maybe give us a little 30-second primer at that special meeting, because I don't know how they work now. I don't know if anybody knows how they work specifically yet, because those rebates that we were all getting, nobody understood what they were getting. And we were supposed to transition away from, instead of education taxes being on our property tax bills, being funded by general revenues out of the province. But that's stopped, I think. So I was just hoping maybe you could confirm
Yeah,
that.
they keep changing.
That's
They
gonna
keep
change
changing the
going forward.
rules.
Yeah, so
That's the problem.
is it really worthwhile spending time and effort on that? Because if it's
And-
gonna keep changing, why spend time and effort?
It's not.
Because I like sometimes, the only reason I was saying was because I can figure it out myself, but I just wanted to make sure that we all were explaining it to ratepayers the same way. That you
The
can't
thing-
yell at me for the education tax.
The thing is, it's not ours to explain. We're the RM. We're just gathering it for the educational
Okay, then
system.
I'll do
For
it
the
myself. No problem.
We are not setting that information up.
You know, that's my, what I tell my ratepayers is that the school tax is not Rosedale's taxes. The school board, so talk to your local school board.
Yeah.
That's kind of what that information just to help.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other one I wanted to talk about was again, just going forward, is the Beautiful Plains Community Foundation. So this is another question. I would like to see the VLT funds that we receive be split, and I'm just saying stuff like 50%, 50%, 50% we keep, and we do something big and tangible every year, and 50% get allocated to Beautiful Plains to be earmarked for Rosedale residents. That way they can handle all of the paperwork and the administration of small grants to small organizations, and we get to keep 50% and do something real and tangible that everyone can see on a yearly basis. But I don't know if that's ever been tried before. I also don't know if it's actually a good idea. It's just an idea. I wanted to put it out there for people to think about. But if it has been tried before or thought about, and it was like, was it nixed for some reason, or is that not something? Okay. So,
I think previously we'd spoken that we're gonna come up with a system in a year.
yeah.
So the levy associated with VLT funds keeps on coming up, and I think we've already pushed that off because that's not a priority right now.
Yeah, I realize it's not a priority, but we could also dump it onto somebody else to administer so that you have less paperwork to do. But if it's not a good idea, I also don't have a problem with that. Lot sales, because the Cochrane, Ontario had all that press this last month with their $10 lot thing, where they had all sorts of crazy response to it. It got me going again about selling all the lots. And I wanted to know about, like, in the strategic plan, if we can do one, is dumping all of the vacant RM, like anything that's RM property that it doesn't have a house on it, getting it into somebody else's hands. And I don't know if there's any buy-in for a $10 lot project in Kelwood. And I just thought I'd bring it up there so you could think about it and decide if it was a good idea or not.
I'm just gonna speak before you speak. There are lots that we want to maintain in RM.
Okay.
RM control. We just got one for tax sale this past year that we want to maintain, I believe, as ours. It's kind of a triangular lot.
Yeah, it expands on something else there, maybe, and the only thing about a $10 lot, in just spitballing, is the fact that brings some undesirables, because the lot just becomes cheap, and then they put a dumpy house on it, and then
You gotta have it.
undesirables, all I can say.
And
You have to have a certain criteria, I guess,
Oh,
to
yeah,
make sure you have to
Yeah,
sort
'cause-
of proper person come in.
Because not that money is everything, but I mean, it changes I don't want to see undesirables fill Kelwood up, as Kelwood's examples.
And I think there are people that want to buy lots, but they don't want to put houses on them. So
Yeah, and I was thinking housing lots for housing.
Yeah, because
Yeah, that's what my issue would be. You buy a $10 lot, well, then we have it in our bylaw, you have to have that house put up on there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you get some shanty or whatever on there.
That's the definition of house.
Wow.
No, yeah, because you only pay $10 for lots, so what are you going to invest in a property to put on the lot?
Yeah.
That's my hang up.
That's my hang up on
Yeah,
that too.
it's pretty, compared to the provinces around our countrysides is, it's more like
Lots are like
a
$1,000.
$1,500 lot or something is still affordable
Horrible, yeah.
as versus a $10. But anyway, you're just having your spitball, so go ahead, but that's my thoughts on that, in Kelwood especially.
The gas tax fund, so again, this is just going back to walking around that trade show. Looking at that hydrogen unit that gets plug and played into things like graders and tractors, I really want that as a trial unit. And that we have a weird little opportunity here because we have two comparable graders, so two comparable heavy equipment operators, and they both work in the same RM. We have this fantastic opportunity to do an experiment and put one of those hydrogen units into one grader, and then analyze it. How well did it work? Did it perform up to expectation? How much money did we save? What was the payback period on it? How many emissions or how much emissions did we offset? How much actual cash did we save on fuel? And I really would like under $20,000 installed, and that money can come out of the gas tax fund.
Is it going to void warranties?
No,
Apparently not.
no, he was actually talking
Apparently
to,
not.
he was talking to that John Deere guy.
I like that in writing, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Big
Oh, absolutely, before you start tinkering around.
Yeah.
Take it on $20,000.
Yeah. So
That's a
no,
great idea, don't get me wrong, I like the idea, just that's the only
Yeah.
fly in the mind that part of
There's a lot of trucking companies that have it,
Yeah.
and they're brand new trucks.
Well, it was,
Guys can tell if they run out of water, power wise, you can tell.
is there any information to share that we could provide to Kevin?
an actual
Like
brochure.
electronic information?
There's the whole thing, sorry, I
That
should've gave that
I can
one.
send it via email?
I should've gave that
It's
one.
not really electronic, it's there.
Actually, I'll probably get a copy of that later and read up on it too.
It's pretty neat, like,
Yeah.
it's, holy man.
Yeah, I know that's going around, and I hear lots of greatness of it, but
Like, they're actually in talks, he said, with John Deere to start putting them in brand new units as a common thing, just a normal thing.
and I guess if the other side of that is, once we go through our financial situation, we gotta take, that'll determine what we do next. Put it that way. You know, like sometimes we gotta spend money to make money, but at what point in time do we do that?
Yeah. And then my last point was the Pure Solutions, because I talked to them when I was at the trade show. And just, I wanted to make sure that we were funding their maintenance plan as part of the financial plan you're just doing up right now.
Last year, I think there was earmarked funds to do it, and it wasn't complete. So this year, I moved the funds there, and then also we're doing a 5-year plan, right? On what we want to do asset management wise, so part of that would be the Pure Solutions. And funny that you speak of the Pure Solutions, because that's one of the grants that isn't closed yet, that I'm trying to pull funds back.
okay.
So, yeah, that one is the one that's actually the highest priority, so that we can get the money back
came and talked to Santec at the trade show. I didn't want to wait in line.
Oh.
Because, man, I
Well,
think
they've
there's a
done a lot.
lot of people that wanted to talk to him.
Mhm. They've done a lot of work for us
Yeah.
already.
So I thought, well, I'll move on.
Budget meeting's gonna be, interesting. I think that everybody needs to start thinking about hiring more admin staff. 2 people in the office is not a sustainable solution for this RM, considering all of the topics that we've already discussed today and the lack of time that we have to actually spend. It's not like you need to have a degree to do the work that needs to be done, but it's very time consuming and there's a lot of information and support documents that need to be pulled to support all of these grants and all of these claims and all the information that's required to get the money back. Also, in regards to strategic planning and business continuity, having 2 people in the office, if one of us leaves, we're starting from 0. There's no transfer of knowledge or information. We're starting from 0 when we're trying to bring somebody new in to train them. So you need some sort of cross-training capability. And I need the capability to train my replacement at some point in time to pull them into the CAO role. Where today, it's not possible.
So are you looking for an assistant CEO
Yeah.
or research personnel?
An assistant CAO. So if I am sick, they have the capability to run a meeting, they can do that fill
I
for things that I'm doing.
I totally agree with that situation, yeah, I agree.
It's,
So you need to
Do you know what Michelle's coming back or not?
her date is April 30 so I have to reach out to the disability folks to see if they've got an
Okay.
update on her.
I don't want to see us hire somebody and then Michelle says, well, you know, I want to come back.
So can we have a definitive date by the next meeting? So if we need a resolution, we can pass it at that time?
Yeah.
What do you think, Carl?
Yeah, no, I think so.
I don't know if a resolution is required. I want to let you guys know that I'm slotting that in the budget for
Right.
funds for
Right.
salaries. When I go to places and I tell them we have 2 people,
They think you're
They
not.
shake your
they think
head.
I'm insane, yeah.
Hey, I really don't have anything.
Probably been around a few people so long, it's crazy.
Yeah, but things have changed, people.
Well, I know, yeah, it is, like, that's
Legal
like
wise and everything, it's just.
For so long, we were that way, I don't
Yeah.
understand, like, it just, how do we get away with it?
Well, I think
I guess
the
Colleen
state of
was-
the office today shows you
Mm-hmm.
like things weren't getting done. So there's no ability to move forward because you can't,
Yeah.
you're just trying to keep all the balls in the air.
Like
Well, I'm not
trying-
against it, trust me, I'm not against it, but I just like, I don't know how you ever made it.
Oh,
Or how they ever made it.
Just like trying to take water out of Lake Irwin with a teacup.
You're busy, but you're not getting anywhere.
I know we had Colleen and then we had Michelle, and then all of a sudden we lost Michelle, and we're down to 2 again. Holy jeez.
And I'm getting more efficient, like putting this meeting together used to take me a lot longer, and now I can write resolutions like,
Nobody hears this.
yeah, as soon as, you know, you do it a couple times, you get more efficient, more efficient, more efficient. I don't think I'm ever
Well,
gonna be
that's
efficient enough to get to where we're gonna run with 2.
All right, then we now adjourn this regular meeting at 2:07.
We did great today.
We did.
Meet again
Good
on
job,
our regular
guys.
meeting on May 10th, 2024 at 10 a.m. Do I have a mover?
There we go.
Moving.
Second or
Sure.
all in favor? Carried.